6 a.m. In 20 seconds, the world turns upside down. In 20 seconds, over 6,000 people are dead, more than 14,000 injured, 600,000 houses destroyed. This is Nepal, and this is an opportunity for us as Christians. Gospel for Asia has a team there, giving what food, clothing, and shelter they can to the hurting and homeless people of Nepal. But they are desperate for supplies. For Christians, love is our defining mark. And here's where love gets practical. 1, pray for the people of Nepal, for God to turn this tragedy into a testimony. 2, go to roadtoreality.org and donate what you can for food, clothing, medicine. 100% of what you donate goes directly to the people of Nepal. Pray and go to Gospel for Asia at roadtoreality.org. roadtoreality.org.
I'll never forget that moment.
As long as I live.
It was a moment.
It was a moment that changed my life.
We looked down from the chopper and saw the whole area was flooded.
At that moment, it really hit me. This is why I joined the Guard.
People had gone up to the rooftops to escape the rising waters.
Talk about intense moments. We had to lower the guys on line some 30 feet down.
This is where teamwork and training really paid off.
It took steady nerves and steady hands for the chopper pilots to hover like that.
No question, Guard pilots are the best in the world.
I couldn't believe it. I just saved a life.
What could be better than serving the people of...
And I try not to talk to you, just so you know.
Your community, as well as your country, while you work or attend college. In return, you gain...
I like you, but I try not to talk to you.
And receive benefits that can help you pay for college. Learn more about what it means to be a citizen soldier at NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Colorado National Guard. Aired by the Colorado Broadcasters Association and this station.
KLZ AM 560, KLZ HD Denver. Listen live at KLZ560radio.com. KLZ 560, a Crawford Broadcasting God and Country station.
It's a mighty fancy automobile. Oh, she's a real road king, all right. 0 to 60 in 7.5. She'll do a quarter mile, 13.40. 390 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque. Whatever that is. Performance and image, that's what it's all about.
There's no such thing as a stupid question. This is Drive Radio. All of your automotive questions are just one phone call away. 303-477-5600. Drive Radio is made possible by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. To find one near you, go to drive-radio.com. Now, Drive Radio on KLZ 560.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Drive Radio. John Rush, your host, along with Dennis Brewster from Extreme Auto Repair. Good morning, Dennis.
Yeah, good morning, John.
And Charlie and Larry are on the other side of the glass, so appreciate them also helping out this morning. Charlie, our engineer, and Larry, our producer. We're going to do a special show today. It's Memorial Day weekend, so we thought we'd do some special things to honor those vets that have literally given their lives for us so that we'd have the freedoms that we have. We wouldn't be talking today if it wasn't for those folks that did that.
That's right. And for the families who lost somebody, God bless you.
Exactly. The sacrifices that have been made are huge. So I've got a few things that we'll read through the day. I'm going to try to push some of that off until the 11 o'clock hour, since our Sunday listeners hear the 11 to 1 segment. So the last 2 hours get replayed on Sunday. So I'll wait and do a few of those tributes as we get into the 11 o'clock hour. So bear with me. We'll have some of that then. So what I'm going to tell you is, if you want to talk about cars ahead of that, call us now and we'll get your questions answered. 303-477-5600, 303-477-5600. And a question of the day is, tell us how, let me make sure I phrase it, I can't talk. Make sure I phrase this correctly. Describe to us who your favorite veteran is, and then discuss a little bit about that veteran. Now, we know Memorial Day is for those that have actually died serving our country. But in this case, if you've just got a favorite veteran, it could be a grandfather, could be a son, could be a daughter, could be a father, mother even, whoever it is, maybe a friend. Doesn't matter.
Or even more than one.
Oh, and it could just be somebody, yeah, it could be more than one. And it could just be somebody from, somebody famous from the past that you really admire. Tell us who that is. Again, we're doing something special today for Memorial Day weekend. Call us with that answer, 303-477-5600. And no, there's no prize. There's no free oil change. There's no free anything. It's just a matter of giving tribute to those.
Well, we have free speech thanks to them.
Yeah, precisely. Thank you, Dennis. That's a great way to put it. So yeah, the freedom or the free that you're getting back is your speech.
Yes.
Because all of the freedoms we have today, we owe to them.
Right.
It's really the way to look at it.
Yep. And I bet you anything, if you were to take a poll or whatever you want to call it, that I bet you there's everybody who is alive today probably has some touch with a military person in one way or another.
Probably true. Let's go to Wally, who's up first today on Drive Radio. Good morning, Wally.
Calling you from Missoula.
Hey, man. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
I got a question. I got a question for you about my bike.
Yeah, no problem. Go ahead.
I had a valve adjustment done on it through the BMW dealer prior to leaving on my trip.
Okay.
And they charge one price whether they have to replace the shims or not. Now, it seems to me that if I'm paying full price, that I should be able to request. I didn't think about this after I left, but if I'm paying the same price whether the shims need to replace or not, if they've got 27,000 miles worth of wear on them, shouldn't I be able to just tell them I want them replaced?
Well, it probably depends on how the clearances are and whether or not the shims are actually bad. And my gut feeling is if it's like other types of valve adjustments, they probably don't do all new shims every time they do those anyways. The technician probably has a selection of shims, new and used, that they're probably using to set those clearances with.
Okay, but if they're not having to, in other words, when they check the valve clearance, if the valve clearances are fine and they don't have to take anything apart to replace any shim, shouldn't that service be cheaper than if they have to replace the shim?
If I knew more about how you do the valve adjustment on a BMW, I could tell you whether the labor is less or not. Unfortunately, I'm not that guy. I don't know.
I've done some adjustments with cars that have shims and stuff, and you basically have to go through the same effort to do it.
Process.
Yeah, the same process. The only difference is you might have to replace the shim, but it's pretty much the same kind of. You're doing everything the same. You might have to take something off here or there, but it's very little more labor to do it. It's not even included in that.
Yeah, and Wally, I don't know that BMW. In fact, I just saw one of those the other day in a parking lot. Man, those are beautiful motorcycles. So, but I've never worked on one, so I have no clue.
Yeah.
You there, Wally? Oh, I think we lost. Hey, Wally, if you're listening, which I know you are, we dropped you. Call back. Yeah. That's a motorcycle. I don't know that. I don't know that engine very well. So if any of you out there that are riding, and again, this is Drive Radio. We'll talk about drive or ride radio, I should say. Right. If you're riding something and you've got more knowledge on that BMW to help answer Wally's question. It's a BMW motorcycle, not a car, when it comes to that valve adjustment. Maybe some of you guys that are even in that industry that work on them, if you can call and help answer that question, please do. 303-477-5600. I really, again, Dennis, I just don't know that engine that well to answer that question.
What they probably do is they probably said, okay, we're going to usually use this many shims, and they maybe they charge that out. He probably didn't even get charged for shims.
It's probably just a blanket price they charge for all of them that they do.
Just like we do.
Some they may use more, some they may use less, but in the end,
I think, because a shim's a shim, they're going to be the same price.
Got it. Dave is up next. Dave, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Doing well. I've got a 2002 Bravada. I had trouble with the transfer case. When you turn a corner, the wheels would scuff. And okay, so I had that fixed.
Okay.
At the place here in Broomfield, the Chevy dealer in Broomfield.
Okay.
And I think they didn't seal it properly, because next thing you know, I'm smelling something that burns pretty bad. It smells like burnt fluid.
Okay.
And the transfer case was completely dry. So, and it turns out it's got a pretty good sized leak in it that I didn't know about.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
So, I've got a guy that's willing to make the swap with a used transfer case.
Okay, so wait a minute, time out.
Yeah.
Why isn't the Chevy dealer taking care of that?
It's been too long, I think.
Like how long?
2 years?
I'd still go back to them.
I would too.
You would?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
If it's gone bad because of a seal or a leak or whatever the case after that repair, I mean, you may not get full. You may not be able to get 100% out of it, but you ought to be able to get some consolation for them working on that transfer case 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, if they can prove that it was damaged somehow or something along those lines, something else happened to it, something they didn't, say a seal went out that they didn't touch initially when they did the job. Okay, yeah, in that case, I could understand them not wanting to do anything, but I'd want to know exactly what's going on.
Even then, I mean, you take it to my shop or any other shops in the Colorado Select, and they'd be willing to work with you.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I doubt if it's a seal that they didn't replace, typically speaking, a shop's not going to give you full credit for whatever it is. But most of them are going to be willing to help you out. A good shop would be, I should say.
Yes.
Now, the case has been run dry.
Okay, which means it's toast.
Transfer case is ruined.
Yeah, it is. It'll be ruined. They'll be
going to replace part of it.
No, that's one where you're going to want to either put a reman or a good used one, and I'd be really careful on a good used one because of what you just mentioned earlier with having the viscous already replaced.
Yeah,
because the used one's going to have. Say you buy one that's got, typically that's going to have 100,000 plus miles on anything you find used. Right. You probably want to put a viscous coupler in it right off the bat before you would even put it in.
Oh.
To avoid having the problem you just went through.
That's what I would do is take if I got one from a junkyard or a used one, I would rebuild it
Freshen
first.
it up. Yep.
Okay. So rebuild and add a viscous coupler.
Yeah, I'm guessing what you had done earlier from what you described was a viscous coupler.
That was real
probably
common.
what they did. Yeah.
Oh, they had a sensor that was bad that couldn't tell when the wheels were different speeds.
Okay.
And that's what they said they replaced. They started off wanting to replace the entire thing for $3,500.
They ended up just doing a sensor.
Yeah, and I told them I'm not going to do that.
Well, then
So
then if that's the case, if all they did was a sensor and they didn't do anything else to the transfer case, that's probably why they're not going to do anything with it now, because they probably didn't do anything internal with the transfer case then.
They had to tear it clear apart.
To put that sensor in?
Yeah. That's what they said.
Really?
Well, if you have paperwork that documents that, then I would take it back.
Yeah, I would too.
Okay.
To put a sensor in of what you're referring to, they should not have had to disassemble the transfer case to do that.
I don't know of any sensor that's inside there.
There isn't any.
Okay. I'll be darned.
Unless they tore the transfer case apart to try to see what was going down with it.
And then figured out it was a sensor. But even if that's the case, they should have still just charged it for the sensor because the misdiagnosis on the front side.
That wasn't your fault. Yeah.
And am I going to be able to trust them if I go back there?
Well, I would think so. I mean,
you got to give him a second. It could be a different guy working on the car now.
The guy that actually runs the shop, their name is Tom. Talk to Tom and see if he'll work with you on it.
Okay.
Okay. And then they call him, his nickname is Big Tom. Talk to Big Tom.
And the beautiful thing about this is if they don't want to work with you and they start giving you a price, you know what your other price is. You can go back to the other guy.
Exactly.
Great. Okay.
But talk to Big Tom. Tell him you listen to us. He knows me. Talk to Big Tom. He runs the service department there. See what he'll do to help you out.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks.
I've known
very
Tom
much.
for 20 plus years. So talk to him and see what he'll do for you.
Excellent.
Okay,
Thanks, John.
Dave. Thank you
Appreciate
very much. Appreciate it. All right. Let's do one more before we take our next break, or our first break, I should say. Pat in Loveland, you're up next on your 96 Jaguar. What's going on?
Nothing going on, John. I just wanted to see if you had anybody in your select group that could service it and to maintain it.
Sure. Yeah, you're in Loveland, which we don't have a shop in Loveland. We're working on getting somebody up in that neck of the woods. You're just looking for general service, oil changes, services, fluid services, things along those lines?
Right, and any problem solving. I don't know if if you guys can, a lot of this stuff is proprietary, I believe. So I don't know how you're set up and what you can do with the Jag.
It depends on the shop, and you're right. Jaguars are, I don't want to say difficult, but they're very unique. It's like Land Rover. I mean, they take a lot of their own scan tools. There is some universal, scan tools, for example, that can actually read the computer and do some things with it. But it gets pretty intricate, and you really need to understand how to work on a Jaguar when it gets that technical. Now, if it's just normal maintenance things, fluid flushes, oil changes, brakes, things like that, most anybody in the Colorado Select group could handle that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really what I wanted to know. So if I run into any problems, then I got to take it to a Jaguar dealer.
Yeah, I would think so, and or somebody that specializes in Jaguar, which there are a few in Denver that do. And if you get to that point, I can recommend some guys that aren't in our group but that do specialize in Jaguars. I could send you to. Okay, when you get to that point.
Very good, John. And so, who do you have in the Loveland area? That's
we're working on it.
We've got a shop up there right now that Dennis actually is friends with. We're really working on getting them on board. Stay tuned. We're going to do our best within the next month or so to see if we can get them signed up.
Okay. Very good.
All right, Pat. We'll keep you posted. Just keep listening. All right. With that, let's take a quick break. Ryan in Tennessee, don't go away. We'll be right back right after these messages here on Drive Radio. John Rush, Dennis Brewster, KLZ 560.
We've all been there. You run to the hood and suddenly realize you don't have the parts you need. Or even worse, you don't know what parts you need. Well, at Napa Auto Parts, we have ASE certified parts specialists that'll make sure you find that right part. One covered by a warranty good at any one of 6,000 Napa locations. Yeah, finding the right part might not be easy, but fortunately, finding the right part store is. Go to NapaOnline.com for the location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
Men, when your wife has car trouble, you're the one she turns to. Since you're smart enough to know that you know nothing about car repair, you go to coloradoselect.org and find a nearby independent ASE certified master technician. You didn't know that Colorado Select Auto Care Centers all offer a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on every repair, but you do now, which makes you even smarter. Now her car runs like new, and you're the genius because you fixed it. Find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center at coloradoselect.org.
Your car's AC is not going to fail on a nice day. Your car's AC will fail when you need it most, on the hottest, most miserable day of the year. You can take your chances and maybe it'll get you through the summer, but why risk it? Call Larry's Automotive and have their ASE certified technicians check your AC system to make sure you have a full charge of coolant without any leaks. If you do need repairs, it'll be better to have the work done now by a Colorado Select shop that you know you can trust to get it done right. So don't wait until you have hot air blowing in your face when it's 100 degrees outside. Stay cool. Call Larry's today and make an appointment. 303-427-2108. That number again is 303-427-2108. Larry's Automotive and Transmission Repair.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability is exactly what the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They've set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each member offers Napa Auto Care Peace of Mind Warranty, along with the highest level of customer service and integrity. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-NAPA.
All right, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560, 1017 on a little bit cloudy Saturday, rainy.
I kind of like it.
Memorial Day weekend, but
we're going to get the sun coming soon.
We will. Dennis Brewster's with me. You just heard him talk there, and my wife told me yesterday, Dennis, 21 out of 23 days this month, we've had rain.
Yeah.
Only 2 days of no rain in Colorado. That's unusual.
Yes.
Ryan in Tennessee, what's going on?
Well, we've had a lot of rain in Colorado, but I'll tell you what, being out here in Tennessee, it is a beautiful, balmy 80 degrees right now.
I'm envious.
I know. But, this is your friend Ryan. We've exchanged a few emails regarding the vehicles, John, especially our opinions on the Jeep.
Yes.
You remember. So
yep, I sure do.
I'm currently driving from Charlotte, North Carolina, back to Denver. I'm driving my brother's car. We're moving him back into Colorado.
Got it.
And he'll be just a few miles east of Dennis's shop. So I'm looking forward to introducing my brother to Dennis.
Perfect.
I
appreciate that.
Customer, so
awesome.
Because I know you take good care of him. Hey, listen, I'm driving. This vehicle is a 2004 Honda Civic.
Okay.
It's the coupe. Obviously, a little four-cylinder. It's not the fancy VTEC. It's just your standard VTEC four-cylinder.
Okay.
The engine the vehicle has 137,000 miles on it. and it runs okay. However, last night as we're pulling into Knoxville to stop for the evening, I was in the drive-thru and started smelling a unique smell that's only common to vehicles as they start to overheat. I looked down, and sure enough, that temperature gauge, that tagged up there at the hot mark, but there was no indicator light. And I guess these Hondas just don't have an indicator light or beeping to alert you as to when you're overheating like other vehicles do. However, we got back to the hotel parking lot. Sure enough, there wasn't. I verified that both cooling fans were working properly. They were on.
Okay.
They're blowing air, but the coolant level had dropped. We had just had this vehicle. I personally taken this vehicle to have an oil change and the fluids check, and I know that they did a good job at the independent repair facility that my brother used, and they're just great people there in South Carolina. But from getting more information from my brother, what he's told me is that every once in a while it's happened to him to the point where it's dropped coolant. They have done a pressure check and couldn't find any problems on it.
Okay.
Right.
I checked the oil dipstick. The oil still looks nice and clean.
Good.
So we're just watching it. I've been driving it for about an hour and a half right now, making our way west, and the temperature is not going above the halfway mark. So looking good there. I'm wondering if you have any suggestions on what we can check, what to look at. I'm fairly confident I can get this to Denver okay the way it's going now. But when we stop tonight, if there's any suggestions on what to look at. And additionally, what is the proper way to fill coolant in a vehicle? You put it in, this has a radiator cap?
Yeah, start there first, yeah. So you top it off on the radiator with the radiator cap first, and then go to your coolant bottle, your overflow bottle secondary. The only thing I could think of on that could potentially be, making it get hot like that periodically is it doesn't sound like the head gasket's out of it. It looks like sounds to me like they've done testing and such on that. It's possible the thermostat's sticking every now and then.
Okay, perfect. And I wouldn't be surprised if the mileage that more likely has not had the thermostat replaced.
Yeah, and if that's the case, that would make sense.
You could have a slight leak too. Like maybe the water pump might be dripping a little bit, and then the coolant gets down, and then it overheats.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and while you're driving it this many miles, you'll know some of that because you'll be able to really watch this closely over the next, over your trip all the way back to. It would take you another couple of days basically to get home. So in the next couple of days, you'll be able to watch that and kind of see what it's doing.
Okay, I will do that. I know he had the water pump replaced at the same time he had the timing belt done at the 100,000.
Okay, perfect. And they should have, technically speaking, they should have done thermostat, but not everybody does. And it's not a have to. I mean, it's not standard procedure to do that. But with that kind of miles on it, it needs done.
Yeah.
I remember the opinion you do the thermostat about every 70,000 miles.
That would be if you could get people to do that. That's fantastic practice.
But you know what? When we try to recommend that, people think that we're nuts and that we're trying to rip them off.
Right.
But that's actually really good practice. I do it on my cars.
It really is. That's right.
Yeah. And John, Dennis, how often would we replace the thermostat in these vehicles from the 60s and 70s?
Oh yeah.
Every other year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Every 30,000 miles.
You're to do it on a modern car at 70,000, 75,000, which if you think about for most people is probably a good 5 years, 6 years. That's very good practice.
Do it at the same time you're having your coolant system.
That's exactly right. Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
So we're going to probably have Dennis take care of flushing.
Perfect.
To answer your question of the day.
Yes, sir.
I want to, as far as veterans go, my father, who is deceased, but he served in the Army National Guard in college. And I guess that's good enough for me. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
He served. And then also, I have a dear sweet friend who just was sworn in as a second lieutenant in the Air Force. And I am so proud of her. And I can't say enough. John,
awesome.
I know you have family that has served in the military.
Yes, I do. Yep.
And I look forward to hearing more about that.
Awesome. Ryan, appreciate it very much. You be safe on the way home. Let us know if you need anything. You know my email. If anything else comes up, let me know. All right, Ryan.
Thank you. God bless you.
You bet. God bless you too. Appreciate that phone call very much. Hey, speaking of Patriots and things along those lines, I should have mentioned this earlier. Phoenix Weaponry, which is a sponsor now of Drive Radio, they're at 1840 Skyway Drive up in Longmont. Memorial Day, they will be open. Anything in the store, 10% off, including if you want to have a custom AR built, which their prices for custom AR start around $900. So if you want a custom AR built for you, it's 10% off. That includes anything in the store. There's a few accessories that they don't have a lot of markup in that they exclude. Just go up there, check them out. Everything in the store. The guy said, hey, we're going to be open Memorial Day. Come on up. Aaron's like, okay, well, if you guys want to be open, then, this was his guys talking, Dennis. So he's like, well, if you guys want to be open, okay, then we'll stay open and we'll do this. So 10 off, Phoenix Weaponry, 1840 Skyway Drive, Longmont, Colorado. Their phone number is 720-340-2496. Let's go to Junior, who's up next on Drive Radio. We have one line open, 303-477-5600 is our studio line. Junior, what's going on?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I had a question about your Colorado Select warranty.
Yes.
It's 3 years, 36,000, right?
What we do is we take the Napa Auto Care Peace of Mind warranty and extend that out to the 3 and 36. So whatever the Napa Peace of Mind warranty would cover, because there's some things that it excludes, engines, for example, transmissions, things along those lines. Anything that Peace of Mind warranty would cover, we extend that out to 3 and 36.
Well, that's great. I have an issue here. I understand. Okay, I've had work done by John's 4x4, and that's my understanding that they're out of the Colorado Select now.
Yeah, they've been out now for quite some time.
Now, that owner that took over, was it a year ago or 2 years ago?
It's been 2.5, almost 3 years now.
What was that owner's name? It was a younger guy?
Ross is his name.
Okay, now, so what's going on? And so the other one up north is gone too, right?
Yeah, they're both under the same ownership, and they are both no longer a part of Drive Radio Colorado Select.
Okay, so how is that warranty how will that warranty be, since they're out of it? What do I do? It's as far as the warranty. If there's an issue with John's 4x4 not covering that, that warranty.
That would be one where you would have to contact me directly. I would take a look at it and see exactly what's going on, but you would not go back there for the warranty.
Okay, it wouldn't go back there, but go to one.
You would have to go to one of our other Colorado Select facilities to get that taken care of. Yeah, I mean, we'll still take care of it, but they're not going to.
Yeah, maybe you can't say that, but what are the issues? Why aren't they staying in your group?
You know what, Junior? I wish I'll be wrong. I'll be very honest with you, and I'm an open book on this one. I have no idea.
Yeah, okay. I'm shocked.
I really don't know. I mean, those stores that I owned were a part of this radio show and what we did here for over 18 years.
Yeah.
Why you would want to remove that from your facility, I do not know, Junior. I have no clue.
You know what you should do, Junior, is go in there and ask him.
That exactly.
Well, yeah, okay, I'll call. Yeah, I live here in Denver, but yeah, I mean,
you should. I mean, literally, Junior, that would actually help me if some of you out there would actually go in and ask that question, because literally, I did everything possible in my power to keep my two old shops that I ran for 27 years inside of Drive Radio Colorado Select, and I couldn't get it done.
So the current owner, he's the one that originally bought it from the other owner?
Correct.
Okay, so, all right.
And and Junior, again, I can't answer your question. I wish I could. I wish I had a really good answer where it's a monetary thing, or it's this or it's that. But honestly, I don't have an answer. I do not know.
And I've talked to him before, and I'm shocked that he doesn't want to stay in.
So now in turn, I'm glad you asked that, though, because in turn, we have a Boulder shop that has replaced them. It's Keeter's Truck and Auto Repair. They're on 6379 Valmont Road, 303-442-2131. And I'll tell you this, one of the guys that used to help me run my Boulder store is actually going to work at Keeter's starting the 1st of June. So they're stepping it up.
What's his name?
His name's Brent.
Brent. Okay, so Brent. Worked at your.
Yep, he worked with me, so he's going to go to Keeter's. So Keeter's is stepping it up, and they're gonna get rolling.
Okay, so I get on your website, then.
Yep, they're all there
listed on there.
They
right?
sure are. Drive-radio.com, Junior.
Okay, that rest.
No, appreciate the phone call. That's a perfect question. I appreciate that very much. I tell you what, let's get Ryan in real quick before we go to our next break. Ryan up in Nederland, what's going on?
John, it's good to talk to you. I got an opinion on the guy who's driving his 2000.
Oh, sure. Yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
I got a 93 Civic myself. Now, that's a couple generations earlier.
Right.
But I've had it since 2002. That's like 13 years. Served me really well. I really love it. Honda radiators are junk. I put 2 or 3 radiators in there. Finally, I got fed up with it, and I found an aftermarket welded aluminum radiator. It's a dual core instead of single core.
Okay, yeah, that would help.
I've had it 2 or 3 years and haven't had a problem with it. And
good advice.
I just think, I have no idea what's going on with these cars, and I'm not even a mechanic. But
no, that's good advice. No, that's you're doubling up in what. For everybody else listening, what Ryan's saying is there's rows in a radiator, and it has to do with the cooling efficiency of the radiator. So when you go from 1 row to 2 rows, you effectively doubled the cooling capacity of that radiator, is what you just did.
You bet. And I'd like to say one more thing. I would urge folks that like this show to listen to Rush to Reason. You're on Monday through Friday, same station.
Yep,
what is it, 2 to 5?
3 to 6 in the evenings.
3 to 6. It's a great show.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that very much. Thank you, Ryan. You have a great Memorial Day weekend. We appreciate that very much. Lines open. Anything you want to talk about, car-related, 303-477-5600. And then on top of that, we've had a couple people already share this. Who is your favorite vet? Now, it doesn't have to be somebody that has passed on. It could be somebody that's even just entering into the military, into service for our country. Whoever is your favorite vet, past or present, you tell us the story. We'd love to hear from you. I've got more stories, more things we'll share as we get into the 11 o'clock hour. But in the meantime, lines are open. 303-477-5600. Dennis Brewster, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
We breathe dirty air every day, and believe it or not, the air you breathe inside your vehicle can be even more polluted than the air outside. Thankfully, many of the vehicles sold today are equipped with a cabin air filter to help keep the air inside your car clean. If you are driving a car with a dirty or clogged cabin air filter, not only are you breathing dirty air, but it also puts a strain on your car's HVAC system, decreasing its performance and longevity. K&N, the inventor of washable automotive air filters, has applied its decades of high-flow, washable air filter design to cabin air filters for cars and trucks. These robust filters clean and freshen the air coming into your car's interior and are electrostatically charged to hold dust and dirt. They feature a pleated filter media that helps capture most mold, mildew, fungus, spores, bacteria, germs, pollen, and other allergens, while still allowing a high volume of airflow. They are strengthened by a custom design frame for a great fit and years of use. Best of all, K&N cabin air filters are washable and clean up easy with the K&N Refresher Cabin Air Filter Cleaning Kit. They typically only need cleaning every 12 to 15,000 miles or once a year, but you can wash them more often if you'd like, and K&N backs them up with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. They come with easy-to-follow installation instructions so you can easily replace your old filter, usually in 5 to 10 minutes. Keep the air inside your car clean and fresh without continually burying and throwing away disposable filters. Find the K&N washable cabin air filter for your car or truck at knfilters.com. That's knfilters.com.
This is Tilden Total Car Care, where life is about helping as many people as you can, as fast as you can.
A customer came in, single mom. Her car was curb checked by her son, and he just destroyed the front end of this poor car. It's the only car in the family. She's out $1,725 was the original estimate. One of the huge cost problems was there was a single part that we could not find in an aftermarket place. And my store manager at the Inglewood store, he's not satisfied with that. While the tech is working on other things on the vehicle, he finds the part, gets it for way less than what she would have had to pay for the brand new one from the dealer, and saves her $500. So she comes to pick up her car the next day. We had it done. She came to pick it up, saved the $500, unannounced to her, burst into tears. It was beautiful.
Tilden Total Car Care.
Help as many people as we can, as fast as we can.
Pretty cool. Federal at Bellevue or 6th and Peoria. Tilden Total Car Care.
Cleaning out the garage and cleaning up the yard means spring cleaning. Don't forget to clean up your car. Arvada West Auto sees a need in vehicles for spring maintenance after a cold, snowy winter takes its toll on your vehicle. We want to help you keep safe and your car running smoothly. Our ASE certified technicians are experts at what they do. Ask us about our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty. Let us and the power of Napa Auto Care keep you on the road. Call Arvada West Auto 303-422-1065. Stop by 11752 West 64th Avenue or visit us on the web at arvadawestautoandtruck.com, where every question is important. See you soon.
At Napa, we're always trying to make the great parts we sell even better. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters to our revolutionary new Adaptive One brakes, And every Napa part is covered by a warranty good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but we've spent the last 80 years making sure we were anything but average. Go to NapaOnline.com for a location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
Men, when your wife has car trouble, you're the one she turns to. Since you're smart enough to know that you know nothing about car repair, you go to coloradoselect.org and find a nearby independent ASE certified master technician. You didn't know that Colorado Select Auto Care Centers all offer a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on every repair, but you do now, which makes you even smarter. Now her car runs like new, and you're the genius because you fixed it. Find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center at coloradoselect.org.
All right, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560, couple lines open, 303-477-5600. And next week, Dennis.
Geno's. We're gonna be live at Geno's, so come down and see us. That's right. He did a great job with his shop, and I really love for everybody to come down and say, hey, good job, Steve, because here's what we try to do in the Colorado Select Group is we try to get our image to look good. You know, we want people to see us, to feel comfortable coming in, and not only with just the people you meet, but the appearance of the shop. Yeah. And he's done a great job.
Oh, he has. He sent me before and after pictures earlier this week that I need to post to Facebook. I'll do that this week so everybody can see it. Even if you're not in the Littleton area and you're maybe not even close to be able to use Steve as a facility, you still need to come out. Just to see us live. Come on out and say hi. Check things out. We'll have some giveaways, things like that from Drive Radio. But to just say, to Dennis's point, to just say, attaboy, Steve. I mean, the place just looks I just can't talk highly enough about it. It just looks phenomenal.
And now it's caused me to try to look at what I can do. We're constantly working on our shops.
Great job. It just looks fantastic. It really does.
And to that point, just to come out to some of these shops that are out there, if you happen to be driving by and you got a few minutes, just stop in and let us know that we're doing the right thing.
Say hi.
Yeah, say hi, that we're doing the right thing on the show.
Don, you're up next. What's going on today?
Hey, John. Hi, Dennis.
How you doing, Don?
Nice. Well, I'm doing okay. How about you guys?
We're doing great. Are you going to come by next week?
Oh, absolutely. All right. I'll be there with bells on.
We will see you then.
Oh, sure. Hey, before then, though, I hope you can help me with a problem.
Let's do it.
Well, I'm trying to get the head studs out of my Jeep block, that Flathead 4.
Okay.
And I don't want to break them off. You have any tricks of getting them out?
Do you have just the block?
Yeah, I'm just down to the block now.
Okay.
You're in Castle Rock, aren't you?
No, Littleton.
Littleton?
I'm in Littleton.
Because I was wondering if you could take it to one of the shops, because it'd be easier if we had it at the shop.
A couple of things you can try, even at home. If it doesn't work, then a machine shop, of course, can get them out. But what I would try first is get the block good and clean. And what I was going to say is if you've got somebody that can put it in their dishwasher to really get things clean and heat it up, sometimes that helps. Just the temperature variation can sometimes help get them out. If not, then what I would do is soak them real good, with some penetrating oil. Let that soak down into the threads really well.
Sure. I've been doing that for a while.
And you want to try to avoid using heat if at all possible, because you just don't want to heat the block up unless you absolutely have to. If you have to heat anything, heat the stud, not the block.
Right. I was thinking, I have a stud pulling socket. It has different inserts that go in the socket.
Got it.
Has rollers that.
Yep. That's what I've got. Yeah. They work good.
I put a fair bit of oomph on it, but I was thinking maybe if I would dial down a impact gun to where it would just chatter it.
No.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to do that, the way to do that, if you're going to do your method, and it might work. But you want to double nut it and use it that way rather than trying to use your roller device that that actually tries to grip the studs and the threads and so on. Use an actual nut if you're going to do that.
Yeah, I can double nut it.
And try that.
I even thought of maybe screwing a nut on just the top of the stud and welding the nut.
Yeah,
to the stud.
and that's if it gets down to it, that's what you'd have to do in a machine shop. And if they break, you drill them out, fix it, helicoil it, do whatever you need to. But they should come out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll work on it. Just chattering it with sometimes an impact gun will do something.
Yep, because it'll loosen up some of the rust and things that are in there. Exactly. You're exactly right.
Yeah. Well, that's a thought.
And then with a little bit of even just, doing that plus a little bit of heat from just a butane torch, not a really, not anything super hot, but just a heat gun or a butane torch might be enough to loosen that up to get them to come out.
Well, I got a welding rig. I mean, I could heat the stud up about a half inch above the block.
Yep, exactly. Just see if you can get it to loosen up. Just be careful it doesn't twist off.
And if you need that,
would you go to a dull red with the stud?
No,
John,
no, I wouldn't even get that hot.
Okay, just warm them.
Just warm it up.
And if you need it cleaned or something, I got a hot tank. I don't mind throwing.
And
it
I'm
in
not
there.
so sure. And Steve might too. I can't
you can
remember.
ask
I took
him,
a tour the other day, but I didn't look to see if there was a dishwasher there.
He has.
I don't think he has one, but
really?
I've been through a shop a couple of times.
And I don't remember. And he's added so much stuff in the new area. I don't remember, Steve.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out again. I can do that when I'm there next week.
Yeah.
If I have to drill out and put in helicoils, what's your favorite? Some guys say these things called thread certs are better than helicoils.
It's all the same principle.
Okay. Yeah. You don't have a favorite among different brands?
Not for what you're doing there. I don't. If you're talking, Ford F-250 or Ford 5.4, F-150, 250 heads. Yeah, it's a whole different ball game. But for what you're doing, doesn't matter.
Yeah, these are 7/16 studs, and they only
helicoils would be fine.
They only put 65 or 70 foot-pounds on them to hold the head down.
Helicoil will be fine.
Okay, all right.
You wouldn't have any issue.
There is one other trick if you're not getting those studs out. If there's a way you could do it, if you can drill down through the center of the stud, it relieves the pressure.
Exactly.
It would do really wonders, but you got to be right on the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mean drill down through the stud before you try to take the stud out?
Yeah, all the way through though, and then that relieves the pressure around the outside.
Yours are pretty long. That's tough to do as long as
that would
they
be.
are.
Well, if they break, you'll be able to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're about 4 inches long.
Right.
So
yeah, I know.
That'd be a long way to drill, Dennis.
Right. But that is a good way to get them out.
Well, what a machine shop would do if they won't come out is they would take a hacksaw or a cutoff wheel and they would actually cut them off down shorter where you could actually then grip them and then you'd take them out that way also.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a thing on YouTube. If the stud was sticking up about a quarter or a half an inch above the block, say you either broke it off or you just cut it off right there.
Right.
Then you weld a nut to it.
Yep, and just pull it out that way.
Yeah.
And you drill out the stud before you weld the nut to it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Then they back out.
And it relieves it and it takes them right out. And that's what a machine shop would do.
Yes.
And you could too if it gets to that point.
Yeah, if I just try to take them out and the darn thing breaks off flush or below the level of the block, that's when you're in a pickle.
You can still get them out.
There's still insert things that you can put in there to get easy outs that you can get those out. Yeah,
I got easy outs, but man, they're not easy to use, Dennis.
They're not.
No, they're not. That's why you drill all the way through and then you soak the crap out of it and then
Okay.
Yeah, I've done this before because I used to do machine work on blocks and heads all the time.
You've got enough material now. You should be okay.
Oh, I'm going to give it a shot.
All right.
If you run into trouble, just give a call. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Don.
Hey, always a pleasure to talk.
Yeah, likewise. Appreciate it very much. Let's go to Jerry up in Greeley. We have a line open, 303-477-5600. Jerry, what's going on?
Well, I've heard you in the past say you would even entertain questions about small engines.
We definitely will.
So I've got an old lawnmower that I just replaced, but I'm keeping the old one around as a backup. And I ran it out of gas and just put it in the shed, but I got to wondering if that's a mistake or not. Would I be better to fill the...
No, what you did is just fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be the way to do that.
Okay, no problems there, huh?
No, if you've got all the fuel out of it, you ran it out of the carburation. The problem is no matter what you do, you won't keep fuel in the bowl anyway, so you're better off just leaving it dry if you can. Okay. We don't have enough moisture. I mean, we have this last month, but typically speaking, we don't have enough moisture in Colorado to worry about, heavy condensation and things along those lines. So I wouldn't worry too much about it.
All right. Well,
if you get nervous about it, you can always take some WD-40, spray it down the spark plug hole, spray it down the carburetor, the throttle body, and you can even take the bowl of the carburetor off and spray it in there, then put everything back together. And then when you go to run it, that WD-40 will come right out and no problem.
All right.
Well, okay.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Jerry. Appreciate it. Let's see. Let's go to Keith. We got time before we go to our next break. Keith, what's going on?
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to give a shout out to people out there that may be having a older vehicle they still need to operate, but they're having some transmission problems. I've got a 2001 F-150, bought it with 20,000. It's got about 120,000 on it now. at about 110,000 miles, and I have serviced the transmission regularly, about every 30,000 miles.
Good.
But it started to slip.
Okay.
And a agricultural friend of mine told me about some Lucas products. So I changed the tranny fluid. I added a bottle of the Lucas Transmission Fix.
Mm-hmm.
And within about 10 days, the transmission quit slipping. My brother had a Chevrolet Avalanche, and he started to encounter the same problem, as was bemoaning the idea of rebuilding the transmission.
Right.
I said, hey, let me give this a shot. It's $12.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you're not out anything trying it.
Yeah. So I went over, pulled out the appropriate amount of tranny fluid, replaced it with Lucas product. Same deal. About 2 weeks, his stepson is still driving the truck on a daily basis.
Good.
I'm not saying this is a permanent repair.
No, it's not. It's just going to get you by until you've got enough money to fix it. That's right.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that have got to get a few more miles out of a vehicle.
That's right.
This is kind of a stop-gap, and it's an effective product. I'm certainly going to continue to use it.
Good deal. Well, that's great. Good news, Keith. I appreciate that. No, and Lucas, I've said this before, Lucas builds some really, really good products. BG does also. I would love to have one or the other as a sponsor of our show at some point in time, because they both have fantastic products. I could advise on either one of them. So, Keith, thank you for that testimonial. We appreciate that very much. John in Inglewood, hang tight. We'll be right back. We're not going away. We've got lines open. Give us a call. We'll get you right on air. 303-477-5600. John Rush, Dennis Brewster, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
At Extreme Auto, we're committed to providing the highest level of service possible to our customers. Our highly trained technicians are ASE certified and are dedicated to providing you with world-class service. We have years of experience working on both domestic and import vehicles of all makes and models, and will work with you to find cost-effective repair and maintenance alternatives. We don't have hidden fees, and we don't do unnecessary repairs. Serving Parker and the surrounding areas, come and see us, the professionals at Extreme Auto, and rest easy knowing you'll get quality work done for a fair price. Our promise to you: extreme service, extreme value, extreme satisfaction. Call us to schedule your appointment today.
Hi, this is Amanda from Geno's Auto Service in Littleton, and after 32 years of business, we've expanded. At Geno's, we're proud members of Colorado Select Auto Care and offer the Napa Nationwide Peace of Mind warranty. We're AAA approved and for your convenience offer loaner vehicles and courtesy shuttles. Experience counts, and we only employ the highest ASE trained technicians. We're conveniently located at Bowles and Platte Canyon, so stop in or visit us online at genosautoservice.com.
This is Red Merrill for Phoenix Weaponry. Phoenix Weaponry is a weapon manufacturer that services the firearm enthusiast. From precision ARs to suppressors, Phoenix Weaponry can make your dreams come true. Phoenix Weaponry is a full-service gun shop that offers gunsmithing, coating, and modifications to your own weapon. Phoenix Weaponry, family-owned and operated right here in Colorado. If you can dream it, Phoenix Weaponry can build it. Call today, 720-340-2496. Again, that's 720-340-2496. Or visit their website, phoenixweaponry.com. Mention Sportsman of Colorado and receive 10% off your custom-built weapon.
Ever try to buy an air filter and get lost in catalogs and vehicle descriptions? Well, K&N, the inventor of reusable cotton filters, has got the answer to the mess. Just visit knfilters.com and enter your vehicle identification number off your dashboard or car registration, and K&N will show you the filter that fits your car. It's never been easier to buy a K&N, the filter that helps your car run better.
At Napa Auto Parts, we've been the most trusted name in auto parts for over 80 years. Probably because we've never stopped looking for ways to make the great parts we sell even better. It's a commitment to quality you'll find in every one of our 310,000 parts. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters, to the patented damping mechanism on our drive-a-line belt tensioners, to our revolutionary new Adaptive One brakes. And Napa parts are covered by a warranty that's good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores nationwide. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but at Napa, we've spent the last 80 years making sure we were anything but average. To find the Napa Auto Parts store nearest you, go to NapaOnline.com. Napa, get the good stuff.
With over 125 locations in Colorado, southern Wyoming, and western Nebraska, there's only one place to get the good stuff: Napa Auto Parts.
John Rush, Dennis Brewster, Drive Radio, KLZ 560, 1048 in the morning. And I just got a picture from one of our listeners that is, let's see, where's he driving at? So Ryan is driving, let's see here, a few photos of us driving right now. My brother is driving the Pathfinder, which there's a picture of, hauling a big U-Haul behind it. He says it sways like a little Egypt at anything above 60 miles an hour, overloaded big time, or when a semi passes us. So yeah, you guys be safe. That's a big load for a Pathfinder. So you guys really, really take care. Dennis, real quick, we need to mention some car shows going on this weekend and the fact that
they're still going on.
I think everything's on.
Yeah, nobody's called us to let us know that they're not, so we have to assume that they are. And the sun is peeking through.
It is. It's actually starting to shine through, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, got a couple lines open, 303-477-5600. John, you're up next from Inglewood. What's going on today?
Yeah, listen, I'm just curious, how would you compare the 2.4 or 2.5 that Toyota makes against the 2.4 or 2.5 that Chevy makes?
Hang on, I'm writing this down. So basically the 4-cylinder Toyota versus the 4-cylinder Chevrolet, which one's better?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a toss-up.
Nowadays, people the way they're building their motors, they're just doing a really good job.
And everybody is so
competitive.
They're so competitive. The machining processes, the metallurgy, everything is so much better across the board that, occasionally you'll get a manufacturer that'll have a little problem or a little bug inside of an engine, but to be honest with you, it is so few and far between anymore. You just don't see it that often on any brand.
It's kind of like iron sharpens iron. Once they find out that they're doing a good job with their engines, and they kind of, people start looking in what they got to do better to make it last longer. So
yeah, believe you me, they are all analyzing one another's work,
yes,
applying what is learned. Now, in some cases, like Ford, for example, using their EcoBoost technology, where they're doing dual turbos, things like that. Other manufacturers aren't going that direction, but they're doing similar things. Mazda, for example, they've got what they call their SkyActiv technology. They're using a higher compression ratio, doing things differently with the valves. They've all got somewhat their own little idiosyncrasies, but as far as longevity of the engines go, they're all really, really good.
Yeah, I'll tell you the reason I asked. You can't get a V6 in the Malibu this year. I guess they beefed up the 2.5 to the point where
yes,
it can do just about everything the
correct.
V6 can do.
Correct.
Yeah, and you just need to drive it and you'll see.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I did a review on that when I was out at the Denver Auto Show. Are they not also turbocharging one of those options?
Could be. I don't follow with that.
I believe one of those options is actually going to be turbocharged, if I'm not mistaken. And you're talking about the 2016 Malibu, correct?
Yeah, but I think the turbocharging is going to probably come out next year. They don't have any turbo on the 216 this year, I don't think.
And what you can do, John, is do you have internet access?
Nope, don't go near it.
Okay, I was going to say, I'll have to go back. I did I did an interview with one of the executives from GM at the Denver Auto Show, and it's on YouTube. I'd have to go back and watch that because I can't remember what he said, but I thought that turbo option was going to be available as soon as they come out. That was my understanding. I may be wrong on that, but that was my understanding.
Well, that would be pretty nice. I'd like to get that review if I could.
Well, and to get it, you'll have to go either the library or something along those lines. If you do, just find somebody with a computer and internet connection. Go to YouTube, and you just type in YouTube, YOUTUBE. When you get to YouTube, just look for our channel. It's called Drive Radio. It's all one word, and all of our reviews, everything that we've got on Drive Radio's YouTube channel is right there.
Okay. Yes. Excuse me. I've got a 2.4 and a 2012 Malibu, and it's a fantastic little car.
Got it.
But the mileage could be better.
And it will be better in the new Malibu. I will tell you that right now. It will definitely be better.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, listen, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And I'll do some research even through some of these breaks, John, and if I get an answer or even can have time to go back and watch my own video, I'll report back to you what I find. We appreciate you calling in. 303-477-5600 is our phone number. We got a few minutes left of this first hour, and then I got a few tributes that I actually want to talk about, and we've got one that we'll play as we get into the 11 o'clock hour, but we're asking a question. We've had a few answers, and I'd like a few more. When it comes to Memorial Day, give us your favorite vet. It could be somebody that's deceased, that fought for our country. It could be somebody that's still serving. I know that Memorial Day is for those that have literally died in battle, is to memorialize those people that gave their lives for our country. I get that, but we're just asking the question, who's your favorite person when it comes to what they've done, for our country?
And you can have more than one.
You can have more than one.
Yeah.
Dennis and I both have family. I've got a son that, and Dennis does also. I have a son that served in Afghanistan, and I am extremely, extremely proud of what he did, the sacrifices that that he made, and he is really even still making today after doing that. My heart goes out to all the men and women that have served us so valiantly. And I put my son right there at the top of the list. I really do appreciate what he did, and I know as a family, there was a lot of, and Dennis knows what I'm talking about. Lots of prayers, lots of worry, lots of wondering, lots of times where you didn't know exactly what was going on because they couldn't communicate.
Yeah, and my heart goes out to the people that have members that are overseas. That people don't understand what it's like when your son or daughter is overseas in a combat area where the worry comes through, and
right.
And so our hearts go out to those people too that have to deal with that daily. It's a stressful situation.
It really is. So our hearts go out to those folks, those families that are like that. But we want to hear from you. Give us a favorite veteran of yours, somebody that you look up to and really think a lot of it. Could be a family member. It could not be. It could just be somebody from the past that you just admire. It could be some of our fallen heroes of late. We've got some even, Colorado connections, Danny Dietz being one of them. I mean, there's several like that. And maybe it's somebody that, you've had a personal connection with. Just let us know. Our lines are open. 303-477-5600. Give us a call. We'll get you right on air. And Charlie came in the room a minute ago during our commercial break and said, guys, guess what? There's this big fiery ball up in the air that actually poked through the clouds finally. And actually what I should say is the clouds finally cleared enough because the fiery ball is always up there.
Yeah, that's true.
The fiery ball doesn't really poke through it.
No.
The clouds dissipated. And you know what? We get enough of that burning off, and we might actually have a decent day. So it's looking really nice outside. Hopefully you're enjoying the weekend, and I know a lot of you are out on the roads traveling. I was going to mention this as we first came on, and I sort of forgot. So be careful on the roads this weekend. The police agencies, State Patrol, etc., they're looking for two things, of course, this weekend. One being alcohol. They will crack down. They will be looking for excessive alcohol use, DUIs, drunk driving, that sort of thing. The other thing they're going to be looking for, and it's a $65 ticket if I'm not mistaken, is seatbelt violations.
Yep.
So both of those they will be watching for. So, most of all, just be careful, especially as we get into Memorial Day itself. People start coming back home. Traffic will get heavier. Just be careful, watch what you're doing, and don't drink and drive.
Right. And please wear your seatbelt, because if you don't have your seatbelt on in these cars nowadays, the airbags will hurt you. They could probably kill you.
That's a great point.
Need to have that on. And we see more than that than anybody.
It's really true. All right. A couple of other sponsors I want to mention before we go to our next break. Isaac Bouchard, our broker. Talked to Isaac this past week, and he is he's just charging away, selling cars as many as he can, do, take care of as many customers as he can take care of. His phone number, 303-475-1462. He actually has some folks now that are working closely with him, so he's got the ability to actually take care of more people now than he even had before, a year ago, let's say. If you want to contact him directly, again, the phone number is 303-475-1462. Some of the things Isaac can do. Fleets. If you want to go out and buy 5 trucks, 2 trucks, 3 trucks, 50 trucks, he can handle all of that, help you with financing, get the whole 9 yards done there. If you're somebody that's interested in buying or selling a used car, he can do that. let's say you've got a car you're wanting to upgrade, like our last caller, where John's wanting to upgrade into a newer vehicle. He wants to go from 2012 Malibu to a 2016. Give Isaac a call. It saves headache, time, money across the board. It's the best deal going. 303-475-1462. And then, of course, once you buy that car and you need it insured, Paul Leuenberger from American National Insurance is our guy. 303-619-9891. And he'll save you money on just about anything, whether it's car, home, auto. I know he did your home, saving you money.
And I tell you, both those guys would not be in this group if it wasn't the way they are. They're very willing to take care of you.
Very good point.
They got a great attitude, and they're very easy to work with. And you just need to talk to them. And if you talk to these guys for 10 minutes, you'd realize they're really good people.
Yep.
We don't get anybody that isn't good people on this show.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Dennis just said it all. So, okay, guys, with that, let's take a quick break. We'll go to the news. We'll come back. I've got some special Memorial Day stories we'll share with you. Don't go away. And if you want to call us, we're here. 303-477-5600. John Rush, Dennis Brewster, Drive Radio.
I don't mind you coming here, wasting all my time.
Still haven't had enough? Go to drive-radio.com. Email your questions and comments. Download previous programs and find lots of useful information, including your nearest Colorado Select Auto Care Center. That's drive-radio.com. Thanks for listening to Drive Radio, sponsored by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers on KLZ 560.
Drive Radio is a presentation of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. The independently owned and operated shops of Colorado Select hold each other accountable for their highest standards of technical expertise, honesty, and professionalism. They all understand that choosing a mechanic is risky business. So Colorado Select was created by this exclusive group of like-minded professionals who are dedicated to raising the level of consumer confidence in Colorado's auto repair industry. Schedule your next oil change at any of the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers heard on Drive Radio, and you'll immediately see the difference. For the complete list of all the member shops in the state, visit drive-radio.com.
Hi, this is Scott Watley. Join me every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. for Sportsman of Colorado. We offer a variety of hunting and fishing experts, outfitters, guns and ammo, and archery specialists. We'll also keep you informed of techniques, products, gear, and conservation news. That's Sportsman of Colorado, Saturdays, 1 to 2 p.m., right here on KLZ 560.
This is Kim Evans with Lawford Solutions. Join me and Scott Watley every Saturday from 4 to 4:30 p.m. for information pertaining to seniors and their families on Seniors on the Move Radio, KLZ 560.
KLZ AM 560, KLZ HD Denver. Listen live at KLZ560radio.com. KLZ 560, a Crawford Broadcasting God and Country station.
This is the Blaze Radio News. I'm Brad James. Politics involved with the release of revealing emails from then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton related to the Benghazi terrorist attack and cover-up.
It's the perfect time for a document dump. You don't want people to see it. Release your bad news when people aren't watching. That's the time to do it. It's time-old trick, and it works.
That's Daniel Halper of TheHill.com. Clinton's emails released at the start of a holiday weekend when many Americans are away from the news. Halper saying the emails reveal Clinton and the administration were more concerned about what Americans would think rather than getting to the truth in the Benghazi attack.
Everything about it just reeks of politics. They were very concerned about how it would shape Obama before the presidential election. They were very concerned about how Hillary Clinton looked herself. And I think they helped politicize the Benghazi terror attack. At least that's what I think these emails show.
Daniel Halper speaking on Fox and Friends. Two parts of the Patriot Act running into trouble in the Senate. More from the Blaze Radio's Chris Vermillion.
A late-night vote in the Senate is a major setback for renewing key portions of the Patriot Act, as two separate bills aimed at curbing bulk data collection by the NSA failed to gain enough support to move forward. Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul explaining why he opposes what he calls the NSA's illegal spying.
Section 213 of the Patriot Act, over 99% of the time, is being used for domestic crime. So we gave up on the Constitution without even really understanding what we were doing. I'm trying to get it back.
Senator Paul speaking on America's Newsroom on Fox News. Chris Vermillion, The Blaze News.
AAA saying a better economy and cheaper gas prices could allow more people to travel this weekend than in years. The Auto Club reporting over 37 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home this Memorial Day weekend. This is news on the Blaze Radio Network. Truth lives here.
The Blaze Radio News on KLZ 560 Denver.
Freedom 560 with Ken Clark, now at a new time, 1 to 3 p.m. on KLZ 560.
It's a mighty fancy automobile. Oh, she's a real road king, all right. 0 to 60 in 7.5. She'll do a quarter of a mile, 13.40. 390 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque. Whatever that is.
I was just saying that. I was like, I need to get to work on this.
There's no such thing as a stupid question. This is Drive Radio. All of your automotive questions are just one phone call away. 303-477-5600. Drive Radio is made possible by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. To find one near you, go to drive-radio.com. Now, Drive Radio on KLZ 560.
And it is Drive Radio, hour number 2. John Rush, Dennis Brewster. We're your hosts for today. If you're just joining us, welcome. And if it's Sunday afternoon, which it will be at some point, you can't call in, but we do appreciate you listening. And we've saved some things for you Sunday listeners. We're going to do some tributes for Memorial Day throughout the rest of these next 2 hours. So if you are listening to us on Sunday, thank you very much. And we saved some things for you. We had a call a minute ago talking about the 2016 Malibu. So John, if you're listening, here's the engine options that'll be in the new 2016 Malibu. It'll have either the Ecotec 1.5 liter engine, it's 160 horsepower, or the 2-liter turbo, which is a 250 horsepower engine. So either a 1.5 turbo or a 2-liter turbo. So they're both going to be turbocharged in the new 2016 Malibu. I would not be afraid of either one of those engines. In fact, I would be the 2-liter turbo guy just because I like more horsepower.
It's just so funny how we're going back to 4 cylinders. You know, it got to the point where we're going V6 and V8 and making them more powerful and everything. Now we're going the other way where I worked on, a 1.2 liter.
Started on that way.
Yeah. And then it went to 1.3, 1.4, 1.5.
It's interesting.
And then they started building them up. And now we're going back way.
Had a call earlier also on car shows. To our knowledge, nothing has been canceled, which is a good deal. There's a car show also that will be coming up next Sunday, May 31st. It's the American Legion Riders Post 1, second annual Chasing the Pig. It will be at the Kmart, the old Kmart at Monaco and Evans from 9 to 5 next Sunday. So I'll announce this again next week as we're out at Gino's Auto Service out in Littleton. So that's another announcement. Next week, so a week from today, we will not be in studio. We'll still be on air. We will just be live from Gino's Auto Service. That's the corner of Bowles and Platte Canyon. Come on out, say hi. We'll have some goodies, some giveaways. Hopefully the weather will be really nice, which I'm anticipating it is, and we'll have a blast.
Yeah, even if it isn't, we're still going to be there.
That's right. We'll be there. We'll take care of things, and it'll be a lot of fun.
And if you want to let us know about a car show, you can email John and let him know about it. You can come in and tell me. I don't care.
That's definitely right.
But let us know about your car shows coming up. And what we're probably not going to do is tell you the ones that are in July yet until we get into June.
Exactly right.
Because they're 2 months out. And
and we put a lot of those things on Facebook. So watch our Facebook page. And I would encourage you, go like our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Drive Radio. All right. Before we take our next call, Bob, you'll be first. Dell, you'll be right after that. Dell's got something he wants to read for us for Memorial Day. So we'll do that right before the break. Takata. This is big news. Most of you have already heard this by now, but Takata, the airbag manufacturer, they will now be recalling 16 million more vehicles to a tally that had already hit 17 million. So that's a ton.
That is a ton.
So what is the total going to be? The action expands regional recalls to make them national, adding about 16 million more vehicles to a tally that had already hit 17 million. So am I reading that correctly, that they're basically going to have
about
33 million
34 probably by the time you're done. 35.
That is staggering.
Yeah.
That is staggering.
Well, that just shows you how many manufacturers use
manufacture.
Yeah, and that happens
Supports
all the time.
Supports what we talk about on Drive Radio all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
People think that, oh no, I have a Chevy and it doesn't have the Ford, same one that the Ford does.
Or the Toyota.
Yeah. And yes, they do.
Or the Nissan. Yeah. They all share.
Yeah. Subaru.
That's
right. Yeah.
They all share.
Volvo,
and there's a lot of that gets done. And I've said this before, I'll keep saying it. The manufacturers today, we call them manufacturers, and they do some manufacturing, but they really are assemblers.
Right.
They become more of an assembler than a manufacturer.
Yep. When I first bought the shop, I came from a manufacturer, and well, I thought I'm only going to use these manufactured parts, and then the rep comes in and says, well, that ball joint you're using, one company makes them all,
right?
Makes 90% of them.
Right.
And I'm like, what? And yeah.
Very true. All right, Bob in Arvada, you're up next. What's going on?
Hey, good morning to you guys. Just drove up from Phoenix.
Okay.
Freeway all the way. I didn't see any cops in Arizona. Saw one cop in New Mexico from basically Raton or what's that, Trinidad.
Got it.
To Pueblo. 4 Colorado Highway Patrolmen, and they were pulling them over right and left. I mean, everywhere, right along there. They were really nailing them. Anyway, drove the little 76 Triumph TR7, got a 3.8 Buick with a Holly and high-rise and headers. Running a GM 204R behind and a Mustang 8.8 with 293 gears.
Okay.
Cruise is just great. I was running at 90, 2,500 miles or 2,500 RPM. Had to be real careful. Anyway, in Phoenix, the little sucker's a rocket because it's so light, off the line and all the way up through, the stupid fast. I mean, we got great freeways down there.
Right.
Get up here to Denver, and I've noticed already that it's slow off the line. And once I get in the mid-range, it moves pretty good. And that, I haven't really punched it out that hard here because, I had no reason to drive that fast.
Right.
But tell me, other than juicing it or putting a puffer on or a turbo, what will help me? I'll be here all summer, and I like to drive it. It's a real dependable little car, and I enjoy it. What say I need to do?
You can add timing at this elevation, which might help some of your lower end. In fact, the rule of thumb on those at our elevation, you advance it until you get a little detonation, and then back it off slightly. Don't even use a timing light. Just back it.
Just by ear.
Just by ear. Just keep bumping it until you start hearing some pinging, some detonation. And once you do, back it off a little bit.
Is that carbureted?
Yeah. Yeah, I got a 390 Holly.
Yeah,
because if you can jet it down a little bit, that would help too. But
I'm sorry, I missed that word. If I can do what?
Jet it down. Put smaller jets in it
go one step lower. Probably is all you need to do. But really, for the short time you're going to be here, advance the timing a little bit and call it good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's it. I do have a person I'd like to remember.
Perfect.
Sergeant, United States Marine Corps Sergeant Terry Charles Williams from North Carolina. Winter of 1968, he took a bouncing Betty in front of me, saved my life.
Wow.
And every day I think of him.
Wow.
He's on the wall, and I appreciate you guys doing it.
Hey, really appreciate you, Bob. Thank you for serving our country, and appreciate him also. Thank you very much, Bob. That's a great story. All right, Dell's got a good story for us too, and he read this during the week on Rush to Reason. Dell, give us your poem. This is one that you got when you arrived back from Vietnam. Go ahead and tell your story.
Yeah, it was just for my brothers and sisters to the littles who don't understand. It's called Ask Any American Combat Soldier. Where is Vietnam? What is Vietnam? Why is the United States there? Ask him where it is, and he will tell you it is a little below hell. It is a place where the days are long and the sun burns hot. It is a place where the nights are longer and the darkness lonelier. Vietnam is a place where you do not eat hot food, a place where you don't feel clean. It is a disease that reeks of blood and burning flesh. Vietnam is a place where friend is found and lost all in a moment. In a place that makes you realize that for all its faults, it is a good place, a secure place. It makes you believe in some things that you can't have here. Ask him what Vietnam is, and he will tell you it is poison. It is spreading, charging, killing, and dreadful. It is a woman and child screaming as the babies are torn apart, as their hearts stop beating. It is a jungle filled with snakes that wait for you to make the wrong step. It gives hate and transforms you into an animal that hunts and is hunted. Vietnam waits for you, your brother, and your son. Ask him why he's in Vietnam, and he will tell you he was ordered there. He is there to stop the poison and stop the spreading. And then ask him the same question again. He will tell you he is there to form a better world, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Then you tell him you don't believe the answer, that you don't agree with him. Tell him to end the war in Vietnam now. You tell him standing back there in the States, in America, sleeping in a warm house on a mattress, secure, eating 3 hot meals a day, and he will tell you to go to hell. And I sincerely hope you take the advice. Arthur Lee Russell, R. Hardy, Sergeant, U.S. Army.
Dale, appreciate that. Appreciate you serving, our country the way you did, and also doing all the things that you do today to support our vets. We really do appreciate it, Dale.
Well, also, I had a friend that was killed in January of 65 or 66 in Vietnam. His name's Frankie L. Vargas, and I want to recognize him today, too.
Awesome. Dale, thanks again. We appreciate it very much. Tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. We come back. I've got a special little audio clip I want to play for you. I've got another story that I'll read in the noon hour. Anybody else that you want to pay tribute to, please call us, 303-477-5600. And then, of course, we'll take car questions or lawnmowers or ski-doos or
motorcycles
or snowmobiles or you name it.
If it has a motor.
You got it. We'll take that call. 303-477-5600. I will get into a little trailer towing today if we have time. If not, I will get to it next week, I promise. So either way, I'll either get to it today or next week. But give us a call, 303-477-5600. John Rush, Dennis Brewster, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability.
I want to call in and say thanks to myself for just being awesome. Waking up every morning with the goal to be as awesome as I could possibly be. And I meet and exceed those expectations every day. Every day without fail.
Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you. Log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-6272.
At Napa, we're always trying to make the great parts we sell even better. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters to our revolutionary new Adaptive One brakes. And every Napa part is covered by a warranty good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but we've spent the last 80 years making sure we were anything but average. Go to NapaOnline.com for a location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
This is Tilden Total Car Care, where life is about helping as many people as you can, as fast as you can.
When I saw the $1,725 estimate for my car,
I nearly panicked.
She's freaking out. Single mom. It's the only car in the family, but she has to do it. There's no option. So she comes to pick up her car the next day. We had it done.
The Tilden manager said,
well, I have a little bit of change on your ticket. She has the big eyes and, oh heavens, now what are we up against?
When the Tilden car care manager told me that he found a way to save me $550, I
cried.
It was beautiful.
Wow.
A little extra effort made my terrible day a little bit brighter.
This is the kind of above and beyond service Tilden Total Car Care provides every day. Because at Tilden, life really is about helping as many people as you can, as fast as you can. Tilden Total Car Care, Federal at Bellevue or at 6th and Peoria.
Men, when your wife has car trouble, you're the one she turns to. Since you're smart enough to know that you know nothing about car repair, you go to coloradoselect.org and find a nearby independent ASE certified master technician. You didn't know that Colorado Select Auto Care Centers all offer a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on every repair, but you do now, which makes you even smarter. Now her car runs like new, and you're the genius because you fixed it. Find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center at coloradoselect.org.
John Rush Drive Radio, KLZ 560, along with Dennis Brewster. 7 facts about Memorial Day. Then I've got a special audio tribute that I want to play. Why we observe Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a day of remembrance for those who have died serving our country. It started with the Civil War. Memorial Day was a response to the unprecedented carnage of the Civil War, in which some 620,000 soldiers on both sides died. It was first known as Decoration Day. From the practice of decorating graves with flowers, wreaths, and flags, the holiday was long known as Decoration Day. The name Memorial Day goes back to 1882, but the older name didn't disappear until after World War II. Federal law declared Memorial Day the official name in 1967. The playing of taps, the 24-note bugle call, is played at all military funerals and memorial services. Flying the flag is customary on Memorial Day to fly the flag at half-staff until noon and then raise it to the top of the staff until sunset, something I didn't know until reading this the other day, so I will do that on Monday. And then flowers and flags are the 2 most popular items people use to remember soldiers. And, of course, Memorial Day is observed on the last Monday of May. So I've got a good tribute. I thought this was fitting for Memorial Day. This is basically a story of a gentleman that had a couple of sons, and one of them died in the military, and it's the story of what he did in response to his son dying just recently. I shouldn't say recently, but within the Afghan war, let's just say that. So it's fairly recent. Terrence, take it away.
Dr. Bill Krisoff was a successful orthopedic surgeon with a thriving practice and a comfortable life in Truckee, California. He and his wife, Christine, had 2 sons, Nate and Austin. Both boys were excellent students, accomplished musicians, and skilled athletes. And both, after the events of September 11th, chose to join the Marine Corps. In 2006, Nate was a first lieutenant based out of Fallujah, Iraq. Austin was at Officers Candidate School in Quantico, Virginia. And Dr. Krisoff was about to begin a journey that would take him from the depths of despair to a new mission, saving lives half a world away.
On December 9th of 2006, I was informed that we had lost a Marine and that his name was Lieutenant Krisoff.
His Humvee had been blasted by an IED, and he caught the brunt of it.
I wrote a personal letter to the family expressing our condolences and our grief, and the letter came back with an answer.
I said, I'd like to become a battalion surgeon with the Marines. That's what I'd like to do.
I think my dad was inspired by Nate. I think he felt that he had the capability to make a difference.
I contacted the Navy medical recruiter, and I told him how old I was. I was 60 at the time. And he said, well, it's going to take an age waiver. So he came back a week later and said, it doesn't look like that's going to fly.
We ended up meeting President Bush in the summer of 2007. The president had a tradition of meeting with families of the fallen and spending a bit of time with them.
And at the end of this meeting, President Bush went around the room and said, is there anything that I or my staff can do for you to help? And I said, well, yes, sir, there is. I'm an orthopedic surgeon. I want to join the Navy Medical Corps, but they told me I was too old, and no disrespect, but I'm younger than you are. Got a phone call later that week from my recruiter, and he was laughing. And he said, Bill, looks like you got your age waiver.
A couple years later, I'm sitting at Camp Leatherneck in our chow hall when somebody taps me on the shoulder and says, Joe Nicholson, I'm Bill Krisoff. And I instantly knew the name and couldn't believe he was there. Afghanistan was a very, very dangerous place, and Bill was precisely the type of surgeon that we desperately needed there to save the lives of our young Marines.
Injuries from IEDs, blast injuries, were horrific, and oftentimes multiple limb amputations. My time in Afghanistan was the most indelible experience of my life.
Bill Krisoff is one of my heroes. There's no doubt in my mind that because of his presence there are Marines alive today.
I would, of course, think of Nate on a daily basis. one thing struck in my mind. I believe it was on Memorial Day. There was a service there which I went to. And I remember sitting out after that, kind of watching the sunset and thinking about Nate. And a lone bagpiper came by. And I'm going, where is this coming from? I mean, somebody's speaking to me.
If my brother could talk to my dad, I think he'd be humbled, knowing that his dad honored his service and sacrifice. I think he would say, good going, Dad.
Thank you, Commander Krisoff. We are so grateful for what you, Austin, Nate, and Christine have given. We salute you all.
Great story, and shows you how the death of one through the course of events saved many, because it encouraged the dad, who was a surgeon at 60, to join the military and go save lives. Pretty cool story.
It's amazing.
Really good story. So we got another tribute coming from Mike right now. Mike, excuse me. Welcome to welcome to Drive Radio. What's going on, Mike?
Hi guys. Thank you for your patriotism.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that last story choked me up big time.
Good story.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to my dad was a corporal late in the World War II. He's now over at Fort Logan, and my dad-in-law was a POW in Japanese internment. They got him second day at Wake Island. He was on Wake Island as a civilian, fighting with that small detachment of Marines. And he's also out at Fort Logan now.
Wow.
And my wife had an uncle. He gave the ultimate. He was a submariner in the early days of World War II, and he was lost at sea, never found. And he's memorialized. He's native Colorado. He's memorialized out at the Aurora Memorial. That super pretty memorial. If anybody has a chance, it's boy, it'll choke you up.
Yep.
Love your country.
Yep.
And I was a Navy veteran.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. You're welcome. This country is so worth it.
Yes, it is.
Country in the history of the planet.
Yes, it is.
And
yep.
I get so tired of people that don't have one iota of awareness of that.
Yep. You and me both.
I've been in other countries and seen how good we have it.
Yep.
And I wanted to give a salute my dad, my dad-in-law, and
awesome.
My wife's uncle.
Good stuff.
For that. So,
Mike, thank you very much. Sure appreciate you guys. Love all you vets and all of what you've done for our country, and those that have, to Mike's point, they made the ultimate sacrifice, and the families that are still alive today that lost loved ones really didn't. Lost isn't the right words. And I think if you went and talked to the majority of them, I'm not sure they would say we lost anybody. The answer is we gave. We gave a part of our family, so the rest of us could have the freedoms that we have. And it's something that, you all know, listening to me any length of time, is near and dear to me. I don't, to Mike's point a minute ago, I don't want us to ever forget what we've sacrificed to have the country. We have the best country on the planet, period. In all history past, and might be all history future. I'm not sure. Not sure how things are going to work out. But right now, this is the best there is. And I want to keep it that way. So we're fighting daily here on KLZ to make sure that happens. We bring the awareness, the patriotism up on a daily basis. And I hope that you'll continue to listen to us on KLZ here all through the week, not just on Saturdays, but Sundays, and then Monday through Friday. We do appreciate that very, very much. So tell you what, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. I've got another story that will be very touching that I will read in the noon hour. So before that, we'll take some more calls, questions, tributes, answers, anything that you've got. give us a call, 303-477-5600. John Rush, Dennis Brewster on Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
Today's cars and trucks are very complicated and can be expensive to repair. At Arvada West Auto and Truck, we can help you to understand the complex nature of repairs. We specialize in computer repairs. Maybe you have tried another shop and you still have the same problem. Let our highly experienced technicians at Arvada West Auto help you. Call 303-422-1065 or stop by and see us at Arvada West Auto and Truck, 11752 West 64th Avenue in West Arvada. Or visit us on the web at arvadawestautoandtruck.com, 303-422-1065.
Hi, this is Amanda from Geno's Auto Service in Littleton, and after 32 years of business, we've expanded. At Geno's, we're proud members of Colorado Select Auto Care and offer the Napa Nationwide Peace of Mind warranty. We're AAA approved and for your convenience offer loaner vehicles and courtesy shuttles. Experience counts, and we only employ the highest ASE trained technicians. We're conveniently located at Bowles and Platte Canyon, so stop in or visit us online at genosautoservice.com.
When you step on the accelerator, you have but one expectation, that your car accelerates. If that's not happening, you might have a transmission problem, and you definitely have a safety issue. Call Larry's Automotive and Transmission Repair, because that little hesitation between gears might not seem like a big deal, but if you need to take evasive action and your car hesitates just a little bit, it could spell disaster. Most of the transmission jobs Larry's Automotive encounters require only minor repairs and not a complete overhaul. So if the cost of transmission work has you concerned, don't be. What should concern you is safety. Call Larry's Automotive and Transmission Repair and schedule your special attention KLZ 560 appointment today. 303-427-2108. That's 303-427-2108.
We've all been there. You run to the hood and suddenly realize you don't have the part you need. Or even worse, you don't know what part you need. Well, at Napa Auto Parts, we have ASE certified parts specialists that'll make sure you find that right part. One covered by a warranty good at any one of 6,000 Napa locations. Yeah, finding the right part might not be easy, but fortunately, finding the right parts store is. Go to NapaOnline.com for the location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
All right, Drive Radio. John Rush, Dennis Brewster, your hosts. Larry Younger on the other side of the glass. And my hat's off to Larry for really coming up with the idea today to just do a show that we just dedicate flat out to the vets, to those that have served our country, are serving our country, and will serve our country. Was at a graduation the other night for my nephew, and it was for North Glen High, and they had all of the kids that were getting ready to enlist stand up. You know, and there was a good 8 to 10 kids out of that group that were going to go serve their country. So hats off to all those young men and women that are doing that, and I appreciate that.
You know, I heard since 2001, since 9/11 happened, we have not had to do, I mean, it's been a flood of kids joining the military.
Yeah, typically there's not enough positions for all of the ones that are actually applying.
Right.
Which is a good thing. Yeah. I think it's a good thing.
It's a great thing. It's the heart of the young youth.
It's right. Yep. It shows that our kids still, to Mike's point a minute ago, it shows that our young kids, whether sometimes us old guys might not believe it, but you know what, our young kids, not all, but a good majority of our young kids still love our country.
Yep.
Very much. Yep. So we've got to keep that going. So again, any questions you've got? Any comments? 303-477-5600. Lines are open. We'll get you on air as quickly as we can. Larry will queue you up and get you going. 303-477-5600. So speaking of trailers, we're going to do some towing things here in just a little bit. But my son sent me this earlier in the week, and I had not seen this, so I'm glad that he did. The 2016 Ford F-150.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is adding a trailer backup assist feature for all of you that are trailer backing up challenged. Did I say that right?
Yeah. Close enough.
A lot are.
Yeah.
Backing up trailers takes a lot of practice.
It takes more patience than practice. People try to go too fast with it is what happens. And you got to just take your time. Don't let anybody rush you.
Yep. You're driving opposite of what you think you need to do. Yeah. But the new F-150 in 2016, we'll actually have an option. It's not been priced out yet, but there will be an option. It's called Pro Trailer Assist. There's a dial on the dash where you actually tell what direction you want the trailer to go, and it will handle everything else for you.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how it all works. It has something to do with the backup camera, the parking sensors. It just knows where the trailer's at, and it knows how to adjust. And supposedly, it will save you time trying to get your, for example, you're putting the boat in the water, what have you. It will save you time.
I agree with all this stuff that we're coming out with and everything, but I also think that it could be bad for us too, in one sense, because then people get in other vehicles and they won't be able to back something up because they're going to need that feature in their truck. I think the best thing for me, or to my thoughts, is that to put someone in a truck and have them back up a trailer and teach them at that point how to do it. I mean,
I'm not going to argue with you, but they'll sell them.
I know.
They will sell it.
They will. But then,
in defense of the guy that's driving it, let's say that there's a day where you're going to send the wife and the kids out to back the boat and everything in, and because you can't make it and you're going to meet them out there.
Yeah,
well, then there you got an option. And most, not saying that ladies can't back trailers. That's please, ladies. I'm not saying that. Anybody can do it with enough skill, practice, and really instruction on how to do it. It's not complicated. It just takes time to learn how to do it. But let's say that, you've never taught her how to do that. Well, here you go.
That's just I think sometimes what happens is we forget to teach people things. And my wife is great at backing up something. So,
Jerry in Brighton, you're up next. Hello, Jerry. Jerry in Brighton, are you there? I'll tell you what, I'm going to put Jerry in Brighton. I can hear him, but I'm going to put him on hold for a second, and then I'm going to go to the other Jerry. So, Jerry, welcome. How are you?
Hello.
How you doing?
Oh, that was confusing.
Yeah, there's two Jerrys, and the first one didn't pick up, so now you're up.
Okay, yeah, I'm Jerry in Marino.
In Marino, okay.
Between Brush and Sterling.
Awesome.
And thank God the water's going down.
Yeah, boy, you guys... well, let's just say everybody, not just you guys, all of us, there's been a lot of water this last month, as you know.
Dampish.
Yes.
Dampish.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I've got a 93 Toyota pickup that I bought used, and they told me that they had put new spark plugs in it, and it was just running, like when you drive it, it feels like it's missing. But when you, when you drive down the road, it'll go right down the road. It seems to have pretty good power, but I was kind of wondering about those spark plug wires. What's the deal with those little minuscule spark plug wires on those Toyotas?
You mean as far as?
Well, they just seem they're such a small diameter wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Tiny, but they're good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They work fine.
And I did have a problem. I had 3 wires that were zip tied together, and I did make a little loom to spread them apart. I mean, just the wires touching can kind of cause you some problems, can it?
Not necessarily touching, no, because, on plug wires, they're all insulated. They're not going to jump from one to the other unless they've got some sort of a split, a crack, a break. They will not arc from one to another. So, no, there would be no problem with that at all.
But anyway, no particular thing to look for kind of, rough running on those. And I've seen, sometimes I've seen like a guy with a 4Runner about the same year as my pickup, and I was talking to him. He had the same engine, and he said he kind of had the same problem with that rough running.
How do I want to say this? There aren't, to my knowledge, any known rough idling problems on a 93 Toyota. That's a pretty good, solid engine. I really don't know of anything.
3.0, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, a 3-liter. I mean, they were. That was a good engine. They had some head issues, and some of those that they recalled, or not. I shouldn't say recalled. They had a technical service bulletin back in the day on a lot of those, and the majority of those by now have been fixed. That was about the only issue with that engine that I can remember. Dennis, do you remember anything else?
I don't either. Yeah, that's about it.
And what was that with the head?
They had an issue with the head gaskets, I believe, and they, believe it or not, they fixed. This was how good Toyota was. They fixed a lot of those. Even, I mean, I would send customers, that we would know already have it. Customer bring one in. We knew it had a problem, And you legitimately could have charged the customer. They would have known the difference, but we knew that Toyota had a program where they would fix, by and large, the majority of the problem. And in some cases, they would split it with the customer. But in most cases, they just took care of the problem for the customer all the way up. I mean, I had customers I sent over that had 150, 160, 170,000 miles, and Toyota still took care of them.
All right. Well, hey, thanks a lot.
You're very welcome, Jerry. Appreciate the phone call. I mean, those are, I forget about those now because that vehicle is 22
years old.
3 years old now, almost
23.
Almost 23 years old. So I kind of forget about those because there's not a lot of them still running around on the roads.
Yeah, and you wonder if when Toyota did that really build some loyalty for them?
I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it did. Very much so. All right, let's go to, I think, the other Jerry. Jerry in Brighton, are you there?
Yeah.
There we go. What's going on, Jerry?
Yeah, I got the Ford pickup 9-to-1, 150,000. How many miles I expect to get out of that time machine?
So you've got a 91 Ford. What engine's in it?
351.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so it's got the 351 in it.
Yeah.
An easy 150. I wouldn't push it much over that.
Okay. On 85 Toyota pickup, what do you expect to get out of those? Through the 4-cylinder.
Oh, gosh. I've changed those, in my life, I've changed those with as little as 150 and as much as 200.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good chain system that are in those. What typically goes bad on the Toyota are the tensioners and the guides more so than the chain. Yeah.
Then it just jumps down then?
It doesn't jump. They just
gets
get noisy. They slap.
Or they get so bad it wears the front timing cover out. I've seen that happen also.
They'll wear a hole and then you'll have a big leak.
That's right. I've actually seen them actually get a hole and leak more oil than actually ever jump timing.
And I've seen them leak into the block too.
Right.
Wow. Okay. I got to comment on more of that. There's a priest called Father Vincent Capodanno. He was a Navy chaplain attached to the Marine Corps and
okay.
And he Medal of Honor winner. And he took his assistant medic himself, assistant medic, and he was killed then. He was from Queens in New York.
Wow. Did you know him personally?
Oh, no. There's a book he was called, by the troops he was called, by the grunts, he was called The Grunt Padre. There's a book called The Grunt Padre.
Awesome.
It's a story about his life.
Very good.
He was an old priest in China, and he volunteered as a chaplain, which is attached to the Navy, of course, and he was attached to the Marine Corps.
Very good. Very good.
However, that book is out there. It's a great book.
Awesome. Jerry, appreciate that. Thank you for the recommendation. Thanks for the questions also, and enjoy your Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you.
You bet. You appreciate it very much. All right. We had somebody that actually emailed me, Ryan, who listens pretty frequently, and I appreciate you doing that, Ryan. So he said, talk about trailers that sway, trailer tires, trailer lighting, trailer brakes, what to do if a tire blows out while towing, and right ways of loading, moving trucks, trailers. In other words, where do you load the trailer and so on. There is a right way to load a trailer and a wrong way. So I tell you what, well, let's tackle a few of these. So the other thing that he mentioned, I think I'm going to tackle this one first. When to use airbags or beef up the suspension for towing / trailer purposes. If you need extra weight, let me phrase this properly so I don't get in trouble. Adding airbags, heavier springs, anything along those lines to your vehicle does not change the load carrying capacity of your vehicle at all. That is a misconception.
Right.
A lot of people think, I'll put airbags in and I can add 2,000 pounds of carrying capacity to my vehicle. No, it doesn't work that way. Whatever that vehicle is rated for, that's all it's designed to carry ever, no matter what you do to the suspension. Because keep in mind, the brakes, the axles, the drivetrain, transmission, everything else is rated for whatever the factory said this is what this vehicle will haul, period. What you do when you put on load leveling devices, airbags, add-a-leaves, springs, you name it, all you're doing is giving the capacity to level out the load that's there that still falls within the limits of the GVWR of the truck.
Which is good. because you want your truck to be level.
Nothing wrong with that. Now, one thing about airbags that you need to be aware of, especially if you're hauling a trailer. This is something a lot of folks don't think about. You can hook up airbags with either a single fill or you can put them into an individual fill. If you're going to tow a trailer, my recommendation always has been you should do a double fill on the airbags. Why? That way the air doesn't escape from one bag and go to the other, and it does help some swaying of the trailer if it ever does occur. Now, some would say, well, John, you're not going to get that much that goes back and forth. I know. I'm just kind of one of those paranoid guys. And if you can do a double fill, if you're going to haul a trailer, I know it's a little extra work to fill each bag, but I just think it's a safer way to do it than it is to have them double filled. The other reason to do that is if something ever happened, you had one blowout, you don't lose air in both bags. You only lose it in the one.
That's good.
So I like a double fill versus a single fill better. Let's take this call real quick before we go to break. Des in Denver, what's going on?
Hi, John and Dennis. How are you guys today?
Doing great. What's going on, man?
Well, I would like to honor my nephew, Brandon, who pretty much knew what he wanted to do out of high school, joined the Navy, and went through BUD/S.
Good for him.
Got washed out because they figured out he had exercise-induced asthma. But they knew they wanted to keep him, so he got on a SWCC boat crew, which is the guys that pull up to the beach with guns blazing to extract the SEALs when they're in a world of hurt.
Got it.
Went back during his SWCC boat tour and went to OCS, got his commission, went back to BUD/S, and made it through this time, and is protecting us from the East Coast with the SEAL team.
Awesome. Good for him. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good story, Dennis. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. I'd also like to honor my dad, Frank, who served on a warship with the Coast Guard in World War II out in the Bering Sea, patrolling the coast with the Russians.
Wow.
And also in the Philippine area and surrounding islands. He did some combat there.
Yeah, appreciate that, Dennis. Thanks. And thank you to your family for that.
Well, and yours as well. The other thing I wanted to talk about was your airbag recall.
Yes.
I work in public safety, and just to let your listeners know, from what we see, airbags only go off about half the time they should. So please wear your seatbelt.
Yes.
And Dennis can probably attest to this as well, because he picks up the damage from after the fact.
That's
right.
right.
And the reason, and I want to make sure that you just hit on something, Dennis, I think is very important. Why do they only go off in about half of the accidents that happen? Well, because you have to hit just right for the airbag sensor to even understand what's going on and then deploy the airbag. So, for example, a corner collision may or may not set off the airbag.
It all depends on where the sensors are.
That's exactly right.
And then they could just hit just right at a low speed and set off all the airbags. We had a 2014 BMW that's in there that the kid just learning the drive was driving it and went over a real bad ditch and hit so hard that all the bags went off.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
2000, and that's the only damage to the car is all the airbags went off.
Now, Dennis, question I have for you is, have you noticed, you being out in the field like you are, have you noticed that it's gotten better as far as deployment and so on with late model cars versus earlier model cars? Because we're in like the 4th or 5th generation of airbags now, or does it make any difference?
I would say it's gotten much, much worse.
Okay.
I can remember pulling up to an accident with a lady in her probably late 70s, early 80s, and it could absolutely be classified as a textbook fender bender. And both of her wrists had compound fractures from the airbags going off.
From the airbags. Yeah.
So, they were triggered way too low back then, but it seems more and more like they're not going off when they should.
Interesting.
And I can remember from listening to this show from way back when, because I've listened more than 10 years.
Yes, you have.
You guys mentioned that if you have a vehicle that is 10 years or older, just plan on the airbags not going off because of corrosion to those sensors.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, good point.
It's just an electrical contact, and when the two sides hit each other,
that's right.
It's supposed to fire. Whether it does remains to be seen.
That's exactly right. Good point, Dennis. Hey, man, thanks for all you do and also for your service. We appreciate it very much.
You guys have a great weekend.
You too, Dennis. Appreciate it very much. Dennis is a great listener, and as you can tell from listening, does some things out in the public safety world. So, Dennis, appreciate that very much. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We got about 10 minutes left of this segment. When we come back, we'll take some more tributes, questions, phone calls, you name it, 303-477-5600, John Rush Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
At Napa Auto Parts, we've been the most trusted name in auto parts for over 80 years. Probably because we've never stopped looking for ways to make the great parts we sell even better. It's a commitment to quality you'll find in every one of our 310,000 parts. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters, to the patented damping mechanism on our drive-align belt tensioners, to our revolutionary new Adaptive One brakes. And Napa parts are covered by a warranty that's good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores nationwide. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but at Napa, we've spent the last 80 years making sure we were anything but average. To find the Napa Auto Parts store nearest you, go to NapaOnline.com. Napa, get the good stuff.
With over 125 locations in Colorado, southern Wyoming, and western Nebraska, there's only one place to get the good stuff: Napa Auto Parts.
Your wheel alignment can affect tire wear and fuel mileage that will cost you more for repairs and fuel. Arvada West uses state-of-the-art 3D imaging to align all four wheels of your vehicle. Be aware that irregular tire wear could also cause the need for additional alignment parts. Stop in or call us for our alignment special. Mention this ad and we'll inspect your vehicle and check your alignment starting at $69.95. Call Arvada West Auto at 303-422-1065. Stop by 11752 West 64th Avenue or visit us on the web at arvadawestautoandtruck.com.
We breathe dirty air every day, and believe it or not, the air you breathe inside your vehicle can be even more polluted than the air outside. Thankfully, many of the vehicles sold today are equipped with a cabin air filter to help keep the air inside your car clean. If you are driving a car with a dirty or clogged cabin air filter, not only are you breathing dirty air, but it also puts a strain on your car's HVAC system, decreasing its performance and longevity. K&N, the inventor of washable automotive air filters, has applied its decades of high-flow, washable air filter design to cabin air filters for cars and trucks. These robust filters clean and freshen the air coming into your car's interior and are electrostatically charged to hold dust and dirt. They feature a pleated filter media that helps capture most mold, mildew, fungus, spores, bacteria, germs, pollen, and other allergens, while still allowing a high volume of airflow. They are strengthened by a custom design frame for a great fit and years of use. Best of all, K&N cabin air filters are washable and clean up easy with the K&N Refresher Cabin Air Filter Cleaning Kit. They typically only need cleaning every 12 to 15,000 miles or once a year, but you can wash them more often if you'd like, and K&N backs them up with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. They come with easy-to-follow installation instructions so you can easily replace your old filter, usually in 5 to 10 minutes. Keep the air inside your car clean and fresh without continually burying and throwing away disposable filters. Find the K&N washable cabin air filter for your car or truck at knfilters.com. That's knfilters.com.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability is exactly what the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They've set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each member offers Napa Auto Care Peace of Mind warranty, along with the highest level of customer service and integrity. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-NAPA.
All right, Drive Radio, John Rush, Dennis Brewster, KLZ 560. We got another hour left of Drive Radio. Once we get through this last segment here of the second hour, I will talk through another tribute that we'll do at the 12 o'clock hour. So why do trailers sway? That's a great question. That was in the email from Ryan. And lots of reasons. They can sway because of the tow vehicle itself not being substantial enough for the trailer that you're actually hauling. In other words, you're hauling more in the trailer than what the tow vehicle is capable of hauling, and I see that a lot.
Yeah. What
happens then is the trailer starts to push the tow vehicle around. Mm-hmm. It's just simple math. I mean, and a lot of times the the tow vehicle isn't as heavy as what you're towing. That's why when that happens, you've got to be really careful how you set things up, because trailer sway can happen.
Yeah, and it's the way you load it. It's
loading. It can be a combination of height, of tongue distance, tongue distance, ball distance to the center of the axle of the trailer. I mean, all those different things come into play. Typically speaking, the longer the trailer, the less sway potential you're going to have. Not always, but typically speaking.
Yep.
The short trailers tend to sway more.
Yes.
I don't know why. I'm not a geometrist, whatever you want to call it, but I just know that's how it works.
Yep. And I do know that I like to keep them level with the bumper. I mean, I like to get that as level as I can.
It as perfect as you can get.
Yeah. And I actually set a level on it.
That's right. So that's how you do it.
Yeah.
And gooseneck trailers, goosenecks and fifth wheels, they don't sway at all.
No.
They're just not, it has to do with where that weight is placed over the back axle of the tow vehicle. All right, let's go to Don in Littleton. Don, what's going on with your studs? Did you make any headway?
John, I just threw caution to the wind. I just took that head stud socket remover and I just popped them all out.
Good deal.
Good.
Yeah. I thought I'd have to fight them. I thought, if they break, they break. They all came out pretty easy.
Good deal. Awesome. Yeah. Head studs typically aren't a big deal because they've had enough heating and cooling. They don't get a ton of corrosion, versus a manifold stud, exhaust manifold stud where they get so hot they just kind of get welded in.
Yeah, I was worried because, those tapped holes for those studs go through into a water jacket, and I figure there was enough water work up around those threads.
Typically there is. Yeah, typically they come out pretty easily.
Yeah, but
Good.
But the problem is, and the reason I'm calling you now is, I got to looking real close I had the block laying over on its side to work on the studs, and I look underneath the distributor boss where the distributor goes into the block, and there are 2 hairline cracks in the block, right underneath where the distributor goes in, and then down by the petcock, about 2 inches further down.
Okay.
Is that block toast then?
I'd have it checked.
Yeah, you can look at it. I know a guy that used to weld blocks, and you have to drill before the crack on each side, and then you weld it in between. But I don't know if
the question would be, is it cracked all the way through, or is it just a surface crack you're seeing?
Yeah, I can't tell. It's just you can see it. It's a hairline crack. I ground away the paint, got down to bare metal, and sure enough, it's in there.
I think next thing I would do is have that block boiled in Magnaflux, and they can tell you how bad it is when they do that.
Yeah.
Is it common for them to crack in that spot?
No, not unless they got froze up.
Yeah, that could very well be.
If it got water in it and got froze up, then it could be.
Yeah. All right, I'll.
Yeah, no, I would definitely have those checked. Yeah, and which means you kind of stop everything you're doing on that block to determine that first before you go any further.
Yeah, right. Not much point in going any further.
No sense doing anything else to it till you figure that out.
You know of anybody that you trust for that kind of work?
You know what? Any good machine shop, Ridge Reamer, any of those guys could Magnaflux that and check it and be fine.
All right.
Anybody that's in that world should be able to do that without any problem.
Okay. Hey, thanks, John.
You betcha, Don. Appreciate you calling back, and that's not really great news on the. It's good the studs came out, but
that just shows you sometimes we wait, and we're kind of scared to do something. Sometimes you just got to do it.
Just go for it.
Yep. Because what good are you going to do waiting for it? You got to get it done anyway. Yeah.
All right. So, why do trailers sway? So we talked a little bit about that. We'll come back to that again. I got a couple minutes here. We'll finish out this segment on towing a trailer. If you've never done it before, it always scares me when I see. I don't know why. It just always scares me when I see the U-Haul behind whatever. Because typically that means, not always, typically that means the guy towing it's never towed before. Right. Or the gal towing it's never towed before. And I always wonder, how much instruction does U-Haul give on that person towing it? And I'm guessing probably not a lot. I will say this, typically speaking, most U-Hauls are set up pretty well. I don't want to say they're foolproof, but they make them as idiot-proof as they can as far as hooking them up, lights working. They've got trailer brakes that work off of a surge mechanism. They're called surge brakes, so you don't have to have any controller on the vehicle, things like that.
And how that surge brake works is when you hit the brake, it's like pushing on. Yeah, it's
master cylinder in there.
Yeah, and the trailer comes forward and pushes on the master cylinder, which slows down, which applies the brakes.
The downside is you can't apply the brakes to get rid of some sway.
No.
Electronically. What I mean by that is sometimes if a trailer starts to sway and you've got an electronic brake controller in the cab, you a lot of times can hit that brake controller ever so slightly, kind of get those brakes activated on the trailer itself, and it'll straighten the trailer out if it's got a lot of sway going on.
Yeah, because it's trying to push you.
In that point, it pulls you versus pushing you.
Yeah,
when you apply the brakes, and it straightens itself out.
Yeah.
There are, trailer sway controls. There's a lot of things like that work. I would encourage you, if you've got any kind of a trailer that you think is going to have a sway problem with it, investigate that. And I could do an entire show on the amount of trailer sway controls that are on the market. Some work electronically, some work mechanically. There are so many different devices on the market. I would tell you, first of all, figure out what you're going to tow, what you need to have in front to tow it. That's a bigger deal to me. Typically speaking, what I've noticed, even just this weekend, I will see it all over the weekend. Typically speaking, people don't have enough tow vehicle for what they're towing behind them. That is the number one problem I see most of the time on the roads, is they've got a vehicle that has X GVWR rating, and so they think because it says that, they can now go out and haul anything they want to haul.
Or they think they have enough horsepower that they can tow it.
And they probably don't have either.
Yes, and it's just too light of a vehicle.
That's exactly right.
I mean, when you see a little car towing a big boat, you got a problem.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll come back. Third hour of Drive Radio coming up next. We're talking about Memorial Day tributes. I've got one I'll read to you. Anything at all you want to add, questions, comments, you name it, call us 303-477-5600. John Rush, Dennis Brewster. We'll be back right here on Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
I don't mind you coming here, wasting all my time. 'Cause when you're standing oh so near, I kinda lose my mind. It's not the perfume that you wear, it's not the ribbons in your hair. I don't mind you coming here and wasting all my time.
Still haven't had enough? Go to drive-radio.com. Email your questions and comments. Download previous programs and find lots of useful information, including your nearest Colorado Select Auto Care Center. That's drive-radio.com. Thanks for listening to Drive Radio, sponsored by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers on KLZ 560.
Drive Radio is a presentation of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. The independently owned and operated shops of Colorado Select hold each other accountable for the highest standards of technical expertise, honesty, and professionalism. They all understand that choosing a mechanic is risky business. So Colorado Select was created by this exclusive group of like-minded professionals who are dedicated to raising the level of consumer confidence in Colorado's auto repair industry. Schedule your next oil change at any of the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers heard on Drive Radio, and you'll immediately see the difference. For the complete list of all the member shops in the state, visit drive-radio.com.
Crawford Broadcasting has an immediate opening for a part-time board operator. Experience running a live radio show is required. Weekend hours are a must, and fill-in availability is a huge plus. As an experienced board operator, you already know that your skills at multitasking are critical to running a smooth show. This is a great opportunity to keep one foot in radio and make a few extra bucks. It's important that you send your resume and cover letter right away because this job will be filled quickly. Email address is denverjobs@crawfordbroadcasting.com. denverjobs@crawfordbroadcasting.com. Crawford Broadcasting is an equal opportunity employer. Good luck.
Freedom, liberty, truth. KLZ AM 560, KLZ HD Denver. Listen live at KLZ560radio.com. KLZ 560.
This is the Blaze Radio News. I'm Brad James. Politics involved with the release of revealing emails from then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton related to the Benghazi terrorist attack and cover-up.
It's the perfect time for a document dump. You don't want people to see it. Release your bad news when people aren't watching. That's the time to do it. It's time-old trick, and it works.
That's Daniel Halper of TheHill.com. Clinton's emails released at the start of a holiday weekend when many Americans are away from the news. Halper saying the emails reveal Clinton and the administration were more concerned about what Americans would think rather than getting to the truth in the Benghazi attack.
Everything about it just reeks of politics. They were very concerned about how it would shape Obama before the presidential election. They were very concerned about how Hillary Clinton looked herself. And I think they helped politicize the Benghazi terror attack. At least that's what I think these emails show.
Daniel Halper speaking on Fox and Friends. Two parts of the Patriot Act running into trouble in the Senate. More from the Blaze Radio's Chris Vermillion.
A late night vote in the Senate is a major setback for renewing key portions of the Patriot Act, as two separate bills aimed at curbing bulk data collection by the NSA failed to gain enough support to move forward. Kentucky Republican Senator Rand Paul explaining why he opposes what he calls the NSA's illegal spying.
Section 213 of the Patriot Act, over 99% of the time, is being used for domestic crime. So we gave up on the Constitution without even really understanding what we were doing. I'm trying to get it back.
Senator Paul speaking on America's Newsroom on Fox News. Chris Vermillion, The Blaze News.
AAA saying a better economy and cheaper gas prices could allow more people to travel this weekend than in years. The Auto Club reporting over 37 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home this Memorial Day weekend. This is news on the Blaze Radio Network. Truth lives here.
The Blaze Radio News on KLZ 560 Denver.
Chris Cook, weeknights at 6 on KLZ 560.
It's a mighty fancy automobile. Oh, she's a real road king, all right. 0 to 60 in 7.5. She'll do a quarter mile, 13.40. 390 horsepower. 500 foot-pounds of torque. Whatever that is. Performance and image, that's what it's all about.
There's no such thing as a stupid question. This is Drive Radio. All of your automotive questions are just one phone call away. 303-477-5600. Drive Radio is made possible by the member shops of Colorado Select Auto Care Centers. To find one near you, go to drive-radio.com. Now, Drive Radio on KLZ 560.
All right, good afternoon now, everyone. Drive Radio. John Rush, Dennis Brewster, KLZ 560. And Terrence is now our engineer, actually has been for the last hour. So Charlie did it the first hour. We've got Terrence for hour 2 and 3. Sportsman of Colorado follows us up. Larry Unger's on the other side of the glass. And I would encourage you to listen to Sportsman of Colorado today, Scott Watley. In fact, he'll probably hop in here at the very end of Drive Radio. He was gone for almost 2 weeks on a really cool South African safari.
Oh, cool.
He had put pictures all over his Facebook page and stuff. So I'm sure Scott will be in and we'll talk a little bit about his trip and what he did and how many animals he bagged and all that good stuff. But he's got some good stories. So he'll be in, I'm sure, at the very end of Drive Radio to talk about that. And you want to stay on and listen. Another quick announcement I need to make. Speaking of Sportsmen of Colorado, Phoenix Weaponry at 1840 Skyway Drive up in Longmont, Unit A. Their phone number is 720-340-2496. Everything in the store will be 10% off this coming Memorial Day. So on Monday, they're going to be open. They will also give you 10% off any custom AR-15 that you order. Now, they'll build you an AR-15 that's got every bell and whistle made out of whatever metal you want. You name it, it'll have everything on it, and it's a lot of money. And they can do one that starts at about $900, which if you look at what an AR-15 off the shelf of any other cheaper name brands that are out there, $900 for a custom AR-15.
Pretty good.
That's a really good deal. Now, they'll give you 10% off any custom ordered AR-15, even going down the road. So go over there, talk to them on Monday, figure out what you want. Please make sure you tell them you heard them on Drive Radio. That helps me. It helps them. Again, 1840 Skyway Drive in Longmont. They're just a little bit west of I-25, excuse me, I-25 and Highway 119 heading into Longmont. 1840 Skyway Drive. Again, the phone number, 720-340-2496 or phoenixweaponry.com.
And with anybody that's in the Colorado Select group that you or on Drive Radio that you visit, let them know that you heard about the radio show. That's why you're going in, so we can keep encouraging these people to stay with us.
That's right.
you know?
Yeah, it helps them. It helps us. And I've said it before. It helps you because you now go in there as a part of the Drive Radio family.
Yes.
And right off the bat, you have this relationship with them that you just wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah.
It helps. Trust me. Even in this case with Aaron, go over there, tell Aaron, hey, I listen to Drive Radio. Aaron's going to say, really great, fantastic. What can we do for you?
Yeah, because we just don't sign anybody else up either.
Right.
We make sure we do some
Exactly
background
right.
checks. We do
Exactly right.
a lot of checking on these people to make sure that these businesses are good.
Yep.
And to just sit there and say, that we would just sign anybody up is wrong.
Some would say, well, John, why do you have a gun guy with your show? Because, man, cars and guns go together.
Yeah.
They just do. Sorry. I mean, and Aaron's an old car guy. He's, he loves the business, loves the show, been a listener for a really long time, and just felt like it would be a really great fit. And I'm a great avid gun guy. So it's kind of a deal where it works out really well. So yeah, go over there, see Aaron. He'll take care of you. Mike in Highlands Ranch, you've got a comment on towing. What's going on?
Gentlemen, good afternoon. It occurs to me listening to this subject that we all tend to not do the math when we're looking at tow vehicles, or for that matter, buying a truck.
It's a fact.
And that is, let's say you're going to buy a half-ton truck. Okay, that's 1,000 pounds it'll carry. What they tell you, the manufacturers, is that doesn't include the 200-pound guys that are in it,
right,
or the gas. So
right.
Now you can only put 600 pounds in it.
Right.
Very much the same way.
That's exactly right.
You have to sit down when you're looking at this stuff and do the math and say, I've got a 10,000-pound trailer with all this stuff on it. And what is the math when I do that and after I get the truck loaded? And I guarantee you 3/4 of the folks out there, I've done it myself. You go, okay, this will hold a half a ton. And by the time you've done that and this will tow this much, you're over towing, you're under truck.
Yep.
It's inevitable.
That's exactly, yeah. I read a deal in Trailer Life before doing this show, and everything, Mike, you just said is in one of the articles in Trailer Life. Let me see what magazine. I got to see what issue is this. It's basically the 2014 Guide to Towing. It's free. You can download it right online. It's one of their Trailer Life, free publications that you can actually get. And in that particular publication, Mike, is exactly, in fact, it's titled Selecting a Tow Vehicle.
Yep.
And you know what? You're so right, because like if you'll take a trailer, a camping trailer, right? We figure out how much it weighs. We put it on our truck, and then we sit there and go, okay, well, let's load it up.
We're going to put 1,000 pounds of crap in it.
Yeah, we load it up, and then, we don't have enough room for the trailer to put all this stuff in. Let's throw it in the pickup. Yep. So we throw it in the back of the pickup, and then we load all the people in, and then the coolers and everything else.
Well, so I'm going to read you this. We've got time. So here's the deal. It says here, for example, here's an example of how to calculate the realistic towing capacity of a vehicle. Consider a fictional 1-ton long bed diesel extended cab 2-wheel drive single rear wheel pickup truck. We'll arbitrarily assign it a GVWR of 9,900 pounds, a front GAWR of 5,000 pounds, and a rear GAWR of 6,824 for a combined 23,000 pounds GCWR. And it has a maximum tow rating of 17,000 pounds.
Yep.
As in often the case in single rear wheel trucks, the rear wheel axle's GAWR on this truck is derived from each tire's maximum load of 3,412 pounds. Pickups such as this normally start at around 6,000 pounds, and with a diesel, automatic, and nice trim, figure that a full tank of gas, fuel, hitch, this unit weighs at least 7,000 pounds. If we had two standard-sized people, not the type you were talking about, Mike, but standard size, 154 pounds each, which, by the way, most men don't weigh that. A few tools, some cargo, it weighs around 7,500 pounds. This is split to 4,000 pounds on the front, 3,500 pounds on the rear. The first thing you should do, first thing you should have noticed, is that the maximum tow rating cannot apply with the truck fully loaded, because GCWR of the 23,000 pounds minus the GVWR of 9,900 leaves 13,100 pounds, about 4,000 pounds less than the quoted towing ability.
Bingo.
There you go, Mike. Yep.
Right on the money, fellas. It just goes to show you, we all should have paid attention in arithmetic.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
Yeah.
and I talked about this a few weeks ago on the weekday show, Mike. The problem we've got in this country is I shouldn't say we somehow as a country, as a world even, we've lost this thing called common sense. Nobody has it anymore. Everybody thinks they can go out and buy a half-ton, Toyota, Tundra or a GM 1500 or a Ford F-150 and go tow a 10,000-pound trailer behind it. The truck's not meant for that.
No.
I don't care what the manufacturer says. It's not meant for that.
I have an interesting story. I years ago towed a boat with an old Blazer, and we're headed on a vacation. And so I loaded the boat up, single axle trailer boat, loaded all the coolers, chairs, all that stuff in it, and wondered why I had 3 flat tires on the trailer in the first 50 miles.
Yep.
And I overheated. The tires are
That's
only
right.
rated for this load.
That's right.
And all I was doing was heating them up and blowing them out.
That's right.
And it took me the 3 stops and 50 miles. I don't think I got to Fort Collins with the thing before I'd replaced 3 of those things.
Wow.
But I learned a valuable lesson, and I learned to read the numbers and say, okay, what is this actually going to do?
That's exactly right.
Anyway, I'll let you go.
Good point,
fellas.
Mike.
Good
Hey,
show.
appreciate the phone call very much. That's fantastic. Kenny, you're up next. You've got a check engine light on. What's going on, Kenny?
Yes, I've got a 2005 Nissan Quest, and I bought it at auction. I called you when I first bought it, and my check engine light came on. Well, I went up to Granby for 20 days, and the check engine light went off, and then it came back on again, and now it's off again. What would cause that?
Oh, there's a lot of things that can cause it. What I would do is we need to actually see if we can pull a history code to see what's doing, see what's actually causing. At least see what the code is.
When the check engine light was on, the code came across, and I believe it was at Larry's saying it was a catalytic converter. And but that's when the check engine light was on. Now it's off again. And I thought maybe you guys would know why it went back off, and then it took like 300 miles to come
Depends on
on.
what the monitors are reading, what's going on in that, and if it is a catalytic converter efficiency problem, it could be that driving that on the highway, of course, things are much more efficient because you're not, on and off the throttle like you would be in town. That could be one reason. There's several factors. To Dennis's point, the history of the code really needs to be read and see what's going
what's
on.
happening with the monitors. It sees that it gets in those parameters that it's good, and so it turns off the light. But then when it gets outside those parameters, it kicks the light on.
Exactly.
And when you're driving around town, it could be that the catalytic converter is on the weak side, and then it'll kick that on because, like John said, driving down the highway, you're in a different situation where it can clean it out.
Right. I mean, like I said, I was up in Granby. It went off, and then one day it just came back on, stayed on for a week or so, and I'm coming back from Denver, or just leaving Granby yesterday, and the the engine light went off, and I've only driven now 100 miles with it off, and I'm kind of expecting it to come back on. I thought, well, maybe there's something else, like the door jar light comes on, and I don't like lights. I want to get these lights out.
No, and you need to get it. You need to get that turned off, because when it's on, your fuel economy is not going to be as well. You're not going to know if there's any other problems, so on and so forth.
You probably do need cats, though, on that. It's a 2005. It's 10 years old.
Yeah.
It's probably going to need catalytic converters as it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. We appreciate that very much. When we come back, Eric, hang on. You've got a comment on towing. We'll away. John Rush, Dennis Brewster, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
Hunting down that hard-to-find part for an out-of-the-ordinary car can be quite a time-consuming chore. Unless, of course, you just go around the corner to your local Napa Auto Parts store, where we have over 310,000 parts, all of them made to fit and perform just like the original. Yeah, there are people who say it's the journey and not the destination, but those people have never tried to find an alternator for an 82 Fiat on a Saturday. Go to NapaOnline.com for the location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
Hi, this is Amanda from Geno's Auto Service in Littleton, and after 32 years of business, we've expanded. At Geno's, we're proud members of Colorado Select Auto Care and offer the Napa Nationwide Peace of Mind Warranty. We're AAA approved and for your convenience offer loaner vehicles and courtesy shuttles. Experience counts, and we only employ the highest ASE trained technicians. We're conveniently located at Bowles and Platte Canyon, so stop in or visit us online at genosautoservice.com.
Arvada West Auto wants to help you get the best fuel mileage you can. Approximately 3.5 million gallons of gas a day are lost due to underinflated tires. There are many things we can do to help you boost your fuel mileage, and most of it comes down to basic maintenance. No one likes to spend money on unplanned repairs. Let Arvada West Auto and Truck do what they do best. Keep your vehicles running at peak performance. From tune-ups to wheel alignments, they've got you covered with a 3-year or 36,000-mile warranty on most cars. On the web, visit ArvadaWestAutoandTruck.com or call 303-422-1065. Arvada West Auto and Truck, where every question is important. Located on West 64th Avenue between Ward Road and Sims.
We breathe dirty air every day, and believe it or not, the air you breathe inside your vehicle can be even more polluted than the air outside. Thankfully, many of the vehicles sold today are equipped with a cabin air filter to help keep the air inside your car clean. If you are driving a car with a dirty or clogged cabin air filter, not only are you breathing dirty air, but it also puts a strain on your car's HVAC system, decreasing its performance and longevity. K&N, the inventor of washable automotive air filters, has applied its decades of high-flow, washable air filter design to cabin air filters for cars and trucks. These robust filters clean and freshen the air coming into your car's interior and are electrostatically charged to hold dust and dirt. They feature a pleated filter media that helps capture most mold, mildew, fungus, spores, bacteria, germs, pollen, and other allergens, while still allowing a high volume of airflow. They are strengthened by a custom design frame for a great fit and years of use. Best of all, K&N cabin air filters are washable and clean up easy with the K&N Refresher Cabin Air Filter Cleaning Kit. They typically only need cleaning every 12 to 15,000 miles or once a year, but you can wash them more often if you'd like, and K&N backs them up with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. They come with easy-to-follow installation instructions so you can easily replace your old filter, usually in 5 to 10 minutes. Keep the air inside your car clean and fresh without continually burying and throwing away disposable filters. Find the K&N washable cabin air filter for your car or truck at knfilters.com. That's knfilters.com.
All right, John Rush, Dennis Brewster, Drive Radio, KLZ 560. Lines are full. As soon as somebody drops off, give us a call. We'll get you right on air. Let's go to the phones. I think Eric is next. Eric, welcome to Drive Radio. What's going on, man? Hello, Eric. Eric was there.
Hello?
Hey, there we go, Eric. What's going on?
Hey, just your comment there on towing with that last caller. If you really want to see a prime example of people not knowing what they're doing with towing, watch the Run for the Border on the weekends. Now the weather's nice. Everybody heading either to Glendo or to McConaughey.
Yeah.
And the guy with the F-250 or the 3/4 ton, Chevy, Ford, Dodge, whatever, towing the fifth wheel with the boat behind it. And he's cruising along at 55, 60, 65 miles an hour because he doesn't have the stability to go any faster than that.
Mm.
And he doesn't understand why. I just watched it. I was up in Casper on Thursday, and I saw a bunch of them head up there, which I was up to Glendo, which I was kind of laughing at them, saying, you better be doing your sun dance because otherwise you're going to be getting rained out anyhow.
The ones that crack me up are the ones that have two trailers they're towing.
Well, that's what he's talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It's the guy, and I see this all the time.
Oh, with the fifth wheel and the boat behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yep. Yeah. You see a lot of those, and you just wonder, or
that's a bad
some
idea.
of them will get out there and they'll try and do 75 miles an hour.
Bad idea.
And they're struggling, and
Bad
it
idea.
really, and it really surprises me that we don't get more accidents.
Yeah, I'm not a big law guy. You guys all know that from listening to me. I'm not a law regulation guy, but I never have been able to figure out why we allow that.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
And I've talked to some. And the thing is they're approaching the length longer than when they're doing that. They're approaching the length longer than a regular tractor trailer.
That's exactly right.
But yet they can do it on their regular driver's license. They don't have the ability. Many of them their vehicles don't have the braking ability.
Nope.
For what they're doing.
Nope.
And I've talked to some state troopers, Colorado state troopers, and Wyoming and Nebraska troopers who laugh, and they're really surprised that there's not more accidents from people losing control of these, trains basically that they're pulling.
Basically
they
what
don't
it
know
is.
what they're doing.
You know, they can't even see the back. The boat trailer.
The boat's not seen.
They can't see it. It's too skinny because that big, massive fifth wheel is in the way. Yeah.
I've never figured that one out, Eric. So I'm on your side. I don't get it.
Yeah, I see it all the time, and I just, you know, and I know you're saying about maybe doing a towing show next week, but you know, or even the better one is when they've got that gigantic combination going down the road, and the fifth, just so everybody can see us. But they have to check to make sure.
Yeah, Eric, I hate to say this, you're dropping, we're losing you. I can't hardly hear you anymore. I got to move on. I apologize. I appreciate I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You know, I think
totally.
I'm on your side. So appreciate the phone call. That was really great. Let's go to Mike, who's next. Mike, welcome. What's going on?
No, not much. I got a half-ton Chevy, and I use it for the housework. You know.
Yep.
Gravel and all that stuff. And then if I have to go down to Oklahoma, I load my bike in it. That's all it's built for.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, half ton, don't need any more.
No,
and
you're right.
With the bike in the back, it's a 500-pound bike. I'm starting to ride nose heavy, so I'm taking airbags.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
you're nose light.
You hit
anyway,
the nail on the
head. I got a 2010 Escape.
Okay.
And when the wipers come up, the right wiper stops right in the middle of my field of view.
Okay.
And I have the windshield wiper tracks there.
On the glass?
On the glass. They're not scratches.
They're just marks there.
Yeah.
Have you
How can I
tried
get rid of those?
Have you tried polishing them? Have you got a buffer or anything like that you use on your vehicles or anything?
No.
That would be the thing to do. You can take a buffing wheel and some light compound and get a lot of light scratches. I do this all the time. You get some light scratches on, you know, sometimes the dirt gets down in the weather stripping on the side windows of you know, some vehicles. Sometimes the wiper will get something under it and scratch the glass. You can get a lot out. You can't get heavy, deep scratches out, but the lighter surface stuff like you're talking about, that'll all polish out.
Okay, if that works, what do I do to prevent it from happening again? I mean, because it's just traveled the windshield.
Nothing.
Or the wiper.
My view of it is we don't have the glass we used to have. That's my theory. Now, I could be totally wrong. Somebody in the glass world could call in and correct me on that. But from what I've seen, and again, I might be totally wet. But I don't think I am, because I've got a lot of fleet trucks, and I think I've seen this change over the years. I don't think the glass is as good today as it used to be.
So I'm stuck with it.
I think so. My Chevy truck, I'll be honest with you, that's brand new, 2012. Well, not brand new anymore, but brand new in 2012. And I can't keep just minor scratches from hitting the windshield on that thing that come underneath the windshield wipers. I do not know why. It just drives me crazy. And I just think it's the glass we've got now.
Would a aftermarket windshield be better?
That's a great question. I've always felt like, and I talked about this on the show a few weeks ago, I've always felt like the original OEM glass is probably the best on the market, and it typically is. Now, is somebody out there making something better in the aftermarket than what the factory makes? I'd have to call a glass guy and ask him. I don't know the answer to that.
I'm going to be looking into that.
I do not know.
Myself.
I don't know. Now, there is a company out there, just as a kind of a side note, and most of this is for fleet vehicles. There is a company out there that does like you've heard of Clear Bra and all those sorts of things.
Right.
There's a company that actually makes protectants for windshields. The downside is they're about half the cost of a windshield. So you really have to do the math and figure out, is this thing really, it's like putting the protector shield on your iPhone or whatever. It's a similar type of a material to that. At the end of the day, you got to figure out for the cost, is it really worth it? I've not been able to justify it.
No, well, and that's a fleet. So if you're just driving a car, to and from work,
right,
that's probably not going to justify it either.
Exactly.
Well, I got to go cut my grass before the rain starts.
Yes, you do. Mike, get going. We appreciate the phone call very much. Rod is up next. Rod, you've got a question on towing. What's going on?
Yeah, I got one of those dumb questions.
There's no such thing.
You said it's simple math, and I have half-ton Suburbans.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're rated for 55 or 65 or 75, but then that's the amount that you can tow as far as weight, I would assume.
Yeah. So let's say you bring up a great subject. So let's say that Suburban says towing capacity is 6,000. We'll just use a round number, 6,000 pounds. Well, that's the total you can tow with the vehicle that's not what you could actually go put on the receiver hitch and lay on the back bumper per se of the Suburban. That's the towing capacity, not the weight carrying capacity of the rear axle of the Suburban itself.
Right.
Okay. So let's say you want to go haul a camping trailer that weighs 5,000 pounds. And this is pretty good math on a half-ton Suburban. A 5,000-pound camper is borderline of what you can haul with a full-size, even a full-size half-ton Suburban. Because what happens is the 5,000-pound trailer, to Dennis's point earlier, never weighs 5,000 pounds from the day you buy it. Why? Because you put fishing rods, and you put guns, and you put water, and you put your waste that comes out of the holding tank, and propane, and before you know it, that trailer weighs 6,000 pounds, not 5.
Yeah. Well, I have a Camaro I want to take to Arizona in the winter.
Okay.
And I think it weighs about
3,500 probably.
Oh, I thought a little more, maybe.
4,200 probably.
4,200.
Yeah, 4,200. I
think. And then how much does the car trailer weigh?
A couple thousand pounds roughly, usually.
Yeah. So I guess I'm about maxed out there being able to do this.
You are. Now, the advantage of the car trailer over the
camper
RV trailer, the camping trailer, is your aerodynamics with the car on the back are much better than it is with the RV behind you.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of grace in that than what you actually end up with the RV.
And it depends how many trailers, wheels, or the axles you have on that too.
Double axle car trailer.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming.
You would not have any problems. And on top of that, and here's something I'll get into this more detail probably maybe next week, maybe the rest of the show, depends on how much time we have. They make what they call a weight distributing hitch.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the hitches with the big bars that actually go along the side of the frame of the front of the trailer, the tongue of the trailer.
Yeah.
If you use that, it distributes the weight out to both axles of the Suburban, thereby allowing you to really max out the total weight you can carry.
Well, U-Haul will not rent me a trailer. They say the Suburban's not big enough.
That's probably what, and they've got insurance and so on. They're probably correct.
And that's good for them to say that.
Yeah, they know you're on the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then brakes. Some trailers have the tongue surge brakes.
Right.
Which work pretty well. It's kind of a...
some of them work. A lot of people don't check them.
Yeah. When they work, they're not bad. They're not my personal favorite. They're on every boat trailer, of course, because they have to be, because you can't get the brakes wet, that wet time after time on the electric brakes. I still like electric brakes, especially for what you're going to be doing, because if you do get into a sway situation, you can straighten it out.
And then I think the Suburban has a harness for brakes.
Yes, it does.
But it doesn't have the actual brake.
What year is your Suburban?
2014.
Some of those had the optional brake controller built in. If not, you need to see if the wires are there. If the wires are there, you can add an aftermarket controller.
Yeah, okay.
Which you need to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Rod, thanks so much. Appreciate the phone call.
Those were good.
Yeah, awesome questions, by the way. So thank you very much for that. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'll read you the other tribute that I had. We'll take some more calls. Scott Watley will join us in the last little segment of Drive Radio. We're coming back. Don't go away. John Rush, Dennis Brewster, Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
At Arvada West Auto and Truck, we won't try to impress you with a waiting room with a big screen TV and lattes. What we will do is give you good service and expert repair. We pride ourselves in being interested in you and your vehicle. We stand behind our work with the power of Napa Auto Care and a 3-year or 36,000-mile warranty. And if needed, we do have a customer waiting area. Come see us at Arvada West Auto for all your repair needs. We are located at 11752 West 64th Avenue in West Arvada, or call 303-422-1065 for an appointment.
At Napa Auto Parts, we've been the most trusted name in auto parts for over 80 years. Probably because we've never stopped looking for ways to make the great parts we sell even better. It's a commitment to quality you'll find in every one of our 310,000 parts. From the bacteria-killing surface on our cabin air filters, to the patented damping mechanism on our drive-align belt tensioners, to our revolutionary new Adaptive One brakes. And Napa parts are covered by a warranty that's good at any of our 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores nationwide. Yeah, maybe you don't get this at your average auto parts store, but at Napa, we've spent the last 80 years making sure we were anything but average. To find the Napa Auto Parts store nearest you, go to NapaOnline.com. Napa, get the good stuff.
With over 125 locations in Colorado, southern Wyoming, and western Nebraska, there's only one place to get the good stuff: Napa Auto Parts.
This is Red Merrill for Phoenix Weaponry. Phoenix Weaponry is a weapon manufacturer that services the firearm enthusiast. From precision ARs to suppressors, Phoenix Weaponry can make your dreams come true. Phoenix Weaponry is a full-service gun shop that offers gunsmithing, coating, and modifications to your own weapon. Phoenix Weaponry, family-owned and operated right here in Colorado. If you can dream it, Phoenix Weaponry can build it. Call today, 720-340-2496. Again, that's 720-340-2496. Or visit their website, phoenixweaponry.com. Mention Sportsman of Colorado and receive 10% off your custom-built weapon.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability is exactly what the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They've set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each member offers Napa Auto Care Peace of Mind warranty, along with the highest level of customer service and integrity. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-NAPA.
All right. John Rush, Dennis Brewster, Drive Radio, KLZ 560. One call I'll take before we do this tribute, because it is a comment on our last topic of towing and U-Haul. Dan, welcome. What's going on today?
Yeah, you're talking. The guy was talking about U-Haul. U-Haul's got some kind of a Jones against Chevy trucks.
Really?
A couple summers ago, I needed to rent a trailer with my 3/4 ton extended cab, big block Chevy truck to haul an S10 Blazer.
Okay.
They wouldn't do it.
Why?
So you say it's too light of a truck or something. They wouldn't do it. Now, the funny thing is, the same company would rent the same outfit to haul the same vehicle with the same trailer to my son's 2007 Toyota Tundra.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason for them doing that.
No, and I couldn't get anywhere when I tried to argue with them about it, and the other stores won't talk to you about it either.
Did you call corporate and ask them?
I didn't call up to corporate and ask.
I would. I mean, even though it's passed, I still would, just to bring it to their attention, because that doesn't sound right.
No, you look up in his computer and say, no, they won't let him do it.
That truck of yours would haul anything pretty much you'd want to haul with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why I got it.
Yeah, I mean, other than something you would need a dual wheel truck for, that truck will haul anything else. Anything else out there that a Ford, Dodge, Toyota, especially, it would haul any of that easy.
Yeah, that's what I thought, man. And the fact that they would rent it to my son.
Yeah, makes no sense.
In a light for a lighter, less capacity vehicle, maybe.
Makes no sense. No sense whatsoever. Yeah, I would call corporate on that one. You know the history of it. You know what's going on. I would call them.
Okay, I think I'll do that. Thank
All right,
you.
Dan, you bet. Appreciate it very much. All right, here is our last tribute, which somebody emailed me this, and I thought, this is at first I was reading it, and the more I got to reading it, the more interesting it got, and I thought, this one's worth reading on air. I don't typically read much on air. I don't like it, mainly because I'm not a very good out loud reader, but I'll do my best, so bear with me. This is a citation that was given to Private Wilburn K. Ross for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidly at risk of life above and beyond the call of duty near St. Jacques, France, at 11:30 a.m. on 30 October 1944, after his company had lost 55 out of 88 men in an attack on an entrenched, full-strength German company of elite mountain troops. Private Ross, keep that in mind, Private Ross placed his light machine gun 10 yards in advance of the foremost supporting rifleman in order to absorb the initial impact of an enemy counterattack. With machine gun and small arms fire striking the earth near him, he fired with deadly effect on the assaulting force and repelled it. Despite the hail of automatic fire and the explosion of rifle grenades within a stone's throw of his position, he continued to man his machine gun alone, holding off 6 more German attacks. When the 8th assault was launched, most of his supporting riflemen were out of ammunition. They took positions in echelon behind Private Ross and crawled up during the attack to extract a few rounds of ammunition from his machine gun ammunition belt. Private Ross fought on virtually without any assistance, and despite the fact that enemy grenadiers crawled to within 4 yards of his position in an effort to kill him with hand grenades, he again directed accurate and deadly fire on the hostile force and hurled it back. After expending his last rounds, Private Ross was advised to withdraw to the company command post together with 8 surviving riflemen, but as more ammunition was expected, he declined to do so. The Germans launched their last all-out attack, converging their fire on Private Ross in a desperate attempt to destroy the machine gun, which stood between them and a decisive breakthrough. As his supporting riflemen fixed bayonets for their last-ditch stand, fresh ammunition arrived and was brought to Private Ross just as the advanced assault elements were about to swarm over his position. He opened murderous fire on the oncoming enemy, killed 40, wounded 10 of the attacking force, broke the assault single-handedly, and forced the Germans to withdraw. Having killed or wounded at least 58 Germans in more than 5 hours of continuous combat and saved the remnants of his company from destruction, Private Ross remained at his post that night and the following day for a total of 36 hours. His actions throughout his engagement were an inspiration to his comrades and maintained the high tradition of military service. Sergeant Ross, we humbly salute you and thank you for your service.
Wow.
That was a private. What do I mean by that? I'm not taking anything away from a private. He just wasn't very high up in rank. He could have easily said, you know what, guys, this is on you. I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Right.
And there's a picture that actually somebody sent me with this, and he's actually standing with his award and everything. And really, really a cool picture, and very, very. All I can say is, very, very interesting, outstanding. I mean, I just don't know what else to say. I mean, those types of stories just, to me, they're enlightening, they're empowering. It shows what people, men especially, did, especially in World War II, the men and women that fought so hardly. Actually, the whole country, if you want to know, really fought for that war, because we had people back home that were making tanks and airplanes and half tracks and everything else you could think of, ammunition and guns, and everybody was involved. It was a whole country involvement to win that war. So it wasn't just, the men and women. That's why it's called the Great Generation.
Right.
Because everybody participated in keeping this country free. And I wonder today, if the same thing were to happen, would we all be so willing to participate? Larry on the other side of the glass shaking his head no. Terrence is saying no. So they're both kind of they're at the extremes of age limit in there.
Yeah.
And so the young and the old both are shaking their heads no. I tend to agree with you guys.
Yeah.
I don't think our country, if the same things came upon us today, unfortunately, I don't think we would have as many willing participants as we had in World War II.
I don't either, but I wish I had my wife's rose-colored glasses at this point to say yes.
Well, John, I think it was proven by 9/11.
Yeah.
When you look at pictures of World War II, right after Pearl Harbor, there was lines and lines and lines of people for recruiting. What happened in the world after 9/11? You didn't see any lines and lines of people.
No, we've had many younger kids that have now, joined and want to join, and that's great. And we talked about that earlier. And I think to Dennis's point, that's a very cool thing. But yeah, Larry's got a great point. No, it's not like it was during World War II, and not that I expect it to. But today we wanted to do something special for Memorial Day. If there's anything else you want to add, we got another couple of segments left. 303-477-5600. Let us know. Give us a call. And in the meantime, we'll probably talk a little more towing.
Yeah, I can actually throw a couple out.
Go ahead.
Right now.
You're fine.
I had a father-in-law that was a tank commander in World War II, Herb Mice. My dad was a drill sergeant for 25 years. He was in the military.
So he trained a lot of those guys that went and did that.
Down in Louisiana we lived, and he was jungle training. He did jungle training warfare.
Got it.
for the soldiers. I remember them coming in on buses with the long hair that were being drafted. And he was in Vietnam in 66, 67.
Really?
And then my son was in Iraq for 4 years, 4 tours. I have a nephew that's still in the Air Force. He's a lifer. He did a helicopter group, and he's flown with the B-52s. He's done a lot of different things, and he's
very cool.
He's still in. And then we had our nephew, Steele Christopher Mice, died in Afghanistan in 2012. So
wow.
Or 2011.
Well, Dennis, tell your family thank you for all their service, and you know my heart. I mean, my heart goes out to you guys, and that's anybody listening. Those of you that have any family, vets still alive, have given their lives for this country, we appreciate that very much. And remember that on Monday, as everybody's out roaming around, cooking burgers, doing their thing, just remember that even right now, we've got men and women overseas still fighting for our country. And whether they're fighting over there, whether they're fighting here, whether they're training, whatever they're doing, we appreciate that very much, but especially appreciate those that have passed on before us and really gave their lives for our country.
And people out there that are listening that say, well, I don't, really care for the military, or, I'm not really about this and stuff. That's sad, because of them, we have the freedoms that we have, that we can drive down the street, we can go state to state, that we can do almost anything we want.
That's exactly right.
Because of the freedoms that they have provided for us.
All right, we come back. We'll talk a little more towing. Scott Watley, I know, is here because I saw him roam in the studio there. We'll get an update on the South African safari and what all happened there. And then that'll be it. So if you want to call, now's your chance. We got a few minutes left to Drive Radio, 303-477-5600. Anything at all you want to add? Any questions you've got, we'll answer them. It's 12:45 in the afternoon. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Drive Radio, KLZ 560.
Reliability. It's what every driver wants from their vehicle. Regardless of make or model, you want your vehicle to take you where you need to go. Reliability is exactly what the Colorado Select Auto Care Centers offer. They've set the standard for excellence in automotive repair and maintenance. Each member offers Napa Auto Care Peace of Mind Warranty, along with the highest level of customer service and integrity. To find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center near you, log on to drive-radio.com or call 303-546-NAPA.
We've all been there. You're under the hood and suddenly realize you don't have the parts you need. Or even worse, you don't know what parts you need. Well, at Napa Auto Parts, we have ASE certified parts specialists that'll make sure you find that right part. One covered by a warranty good at any one of 6,000 Napa locations. Yeah, finding the right part might not be easy, but fortunately, finding the right part store is. Go to NapaOnline.com for the location nearest you. Napa, get the good stuff.
This is Tilden Total Car Care, where life is about helping as many people as you can, as fast as you can.
A customer came in, single mom. Her car was curb checked by her son, and he just destroyed the front end of this poor car. It's the only car in the family. She's at $1,725 was the original estimate. One of the huge cost problems was there was a single part that we could not find in an aftermarket place. And my store manager at the Englewood store, he's not satisfied with that. While the tech is working on other things on the vehicle, he finds the part, gets it for way less than what she would have had to pay for the brand new one from the dealer, and saves her $500. So she comes to pick up her car the next day. We had it done. She came to pick it up, saved the $500, unannounced to her, burst into tears. It was beautiful.
Tilden Total Car Care.
Help as many people as we can, as fast as we can.
Pretty cool. Federal at Bellevue or 6th and Peoria. Tilden Total Car Care.
Men, when your wife has car trouble, you're the one she turns to. Since you're smart enough to know that you know nothing about car repair, you go to coloradoselect.org and find a nearby independent ASE certified master technician. You didn't know that Colorado Select Auto Care Centers all offer a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on every repair, but you do now, which makes you even smarter. Now her car runs like new, and you're the genius because you fixed it. Find a Colorado Select Auto Care Center at coloradoselect.org.
Your car's AC is not going to fail on a nice day. Your car's AC will fail when you need it most, on the hottest, most miserable day of the year. You can take your chances and maybe it'll get you through the summer, but why risk it? Call Larry's Automotive and have their ASE certified technicians check your AC system to make sure you have a full charge of coolant without any leaks. If you do need repairs, it'll be better to have the work done now by a Colorado Select shop that you know you can trust to get it done right. So don't wait until you have hot air blowing in your face when it's 100 degrees outside. Stay cool. Call Larry's today and make an appointment. 303-427-2108. That number again is 303-427-2108. Larry's Automotive and Transmission Repair.
All right, John Rush, Drive Radio, KLZ 560, along with Dennis Brewster from Extreme Auto Repair out in Parker. And real quick, Dennis, what's your phone number? The folks out in Parker might want to call you.
303-841-1071. And yeah, please call. Let them know that you heard me on the radio, and we'll give you a good discount.
Sounds great. And we've got lines full. As soon as somebody drops off, we'll get you right on. Scott Watley did drop in, so we'll get an update from him, and you'll want to listen to Sportsman's of Colorado up next, right after we go off air to hear about his fantastic South African safari. Ernie, you're up next. What's going on today?
Hey, John. I've got an 04 F-250 that has been a pretty good truck. I tow a fifth wheel with it quite a bit. But I've had some problems, breakdowns, shutdowns, and every time they come back and do some EGR replacements.
Must be a 6-liter.
Pardon?
Must be a 6-liter diesel.
You got it. If it was my first truck, if I had known, I would have done something else.
Yes,
anyway.
Unfortunately, that's so what are they? I mean, so what's going on with it? Because once that EGR gets fixed, if it's done properly, it should not be a problem after that.
Well, the last time they fixed it, because I was fixing something about every 2 to 4 months.
Okay.
$500, $600, $700, $800. But one of the diesel mechanics suggested that the problem was in the engineering of it, that there was a differential in the engine compartment, and by rearranging the components for $5,000, it would fix it.
No, that's a bad. I know what he's saying, and you don't have to do that to fix a 6-liter diesel.
Okay.
He's talking about moving the oil cooler, putting it external. There's a kit made to do that. Bulletproof Diesel is one of them that makes that. You can do all of that. It's a nice way to go, and it works. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to spend that much money to fix the problem that you have.
All right.
Okay. You can do, and what my recommendation would be, go ahead and do the upgraded cooler that Bulletproof Diesel or somebody like them sells. They're one of the better companies, so they do make a nice cooler. Do not the EGR delete, because that's illegal. Do the regular, just upgraded EGR. Leave everything in place. So do the upgraded EGR cooler. Leave the EGR in place. Do their upgraded cooler that's internal, and you don't have to do anything else. It'll be fine.
Right. Okay. Super. Any recommendations where I can get that done? Because obviously the guy that wants $5,000.
What part of town are you in?
I'm in Parker.
Give it. Yeah. Dennis will do it.
Yep.
Give me your number, Dennis.
Yeah. 303-841-1071.
And I know, and Dennis knows me well enough. If he's got any questions on what parts to use, numbers, etc., I've done enough of those over the years. I can give Dennis everything he needs to do if he doesn't already know, which he probably does, and you'll be set.
Okay. All right. One more thing. I'm driving, so I can't write, talk, and whatever. Dennis, what's the name of your shop?
Extreme Auto Repair.
Okay. Yeah, I know where you are.
If you go to our Drive Radio website, Ernie, it's listed there. Only shop in Parker.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I'll talk to you again, John.
You bet, Ernie. Thank you so much. I appreciate you calling in. Andy, you're up next. What's going on? Hello, Andy. Andy's not there, so I'm going to put him on hold, see if he comes back. Larry, if not, we're going to go to Paul. Paul, you're up next.
Hello.
Hello, what's going on?
This is Andy.
Oh, this is Andy. Okay, so we had our names backwards. No big deal. What's going on, Andy?
Hey, a Memorial Day comment. I used to have business trips back to Dayton, Ohio, where there is the Air Force Museum at the Patterson Air Force Base.
Okay.
And they had a hallway called Hall of Honor, where they would take a quick scenario of a person giving their lives. I remember one of them. It was in a B-17. The bombardier, the lead plane, was tracking on the bomb run, and the others are going to drop the bombs when he says to. But there was some flak that went off immediately before he wanted to push that button. He, with his last breath, gets, and all of this is articulated in a short paragraph and so forth. He gets back to the bomb site. He doesn't have the wherewithal to push the button, but he gestures to the pilot, and the pilot can kind of see down on him. He knows it's close, and the pilot released the bombs for him, and it was a direct hit. He was given a one of the Medal of Honors that are given, but and I remember that story because my dad flew in the B-17s as a radio operator.
Got it.
And so all the guys out there who have and are and did serve their country, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Very, very, very well said, Andy. Appreciate you saying that. And yeah, if I ever get back in that area, I'll go check that out. That's a great tip. Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
We appreciate it very much. Enjoy your weekend, Memorial Day, I should say also. Scott Watley just walked in. So first of all, what's coming up on Sportsman's of Colorado? Then we'll talk about the safari.
Hey, John. Yeah, today we've got Alan Stack with Stack Optical back with us. Aaron Casey, a good partner for both of us. The Phoenix Weaponry is going to be calling in. He's going to be at a lot of different events during the month of June on some weekends, and so we're going to be talking about that as well. And then we are going to be recapping our safari. We just returned yesterday, Red and I, from South Africa, and had a great time, and really looking forward to going over that. And they've really come up. We sit down with them, worked out some great specials that we can offer through Sportsman of Colorado. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about that too.
Very cool.
Because a lot of people just think it's so very expensive, but we're going to do it for about what you can pay for a good guided elk hunt in Colorado.
Really?
So it's going to be pretty neat.
Very cool. And it's in Africa's just, I was envious of Scott's pictures. I've spent some time in Africa several different times, not hunting. I did it for some other reasons, but in northern Africa versus southern. But Africa in general is just beautiful. I've been to, Kenya and
I tell you, we went to Kruger National Park one day.
Yeah.
Just took a lot of photos, and man, it was awesome. I mean, elephants coming within 10 feet of our car. I mean, just awesome.
Yeah, I've got some great pictures of that. And if you ever get a chance for any reason to go to Africa, whether it's on a hunt or a picture taking excursion or whatever, it's a great
and
place.
You'll come back being thankful for the good old USA as well.
True.
Absolutely.
It's a little different lifestyle. Maybe is not the right word. It's just a different culture, different lifestyle.
Right.
It's
and I was listening to the show coming in today, and I want to sit down with you and work out a time for during the month of June. Maybe let's do it. Let's extend your show for an hour, to be part of Sportsman of Colorado, and let's talk to the outdoor guys and gals out there with their 4-wheel drive trucks and trailers and all the different things that y'all talked about today.
We can do that.
I think that would be a great show for us. So
we can do that. And
we'll work that out.
Fine. That's perfect. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. So, yeah, talked a lot about trailer towing today. Next week, we're going to be out at Geno's Auto Service, Bowles and Platte Canyon. And I would encourage you, Dennis talked about it earlier, he's going to drop by. If you're out in the area, whether you're a Littleton resident or not, you may never ever be one of Steve's customers down the road because of where you live, but you know what? Still come by, say hi, support him. He's got a fantastic facility that he just went through a complete remodel, added 1,000 square feet. I've got before and after pictures, and you wouldn't know it's the same place when you look at the after pictures versus what was there before. I really, there's no way to describe it without literally looking at the pictures to know, or if you lived in the area, knowing what was there before versus what's there now. It's just absolutely amazing. Larry, you had a couple of things you wanted to add. We got a couple of minutes left for the tribute side of the fence. What do you want to add?
I was just going to give a tribute to my father's Battalion Sergeant Major Robert G. Younger, United States Marine Corps. He fought in World War II, did a lot of the island campaigns. He fought in Korea. He fought in Vietnam. Interesting story to that. He was flying out of Da Nang Air Base in Vietnam as I was flying in the same day.
Really?
I give my hats off to my dad.
Really? So he was still in as you were coming in, or so was that like his last tour? Was he leaving, or what was the scoop?
I'm sorry, what?
So when he was leaving, was he leaving the service, or was it just happened to be the day he was coming, you were going? I mean, what was the deal?
He was ending his tour of duty.
So he was ending and you were starting.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. That's a story.
No, at the time it was kind of crazy, but when we got back home together, and we started, checking notes, one thing or another. We found out he was on one plane heading out, and I was on one plane heading in.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that's a great story. And we've heard lots of stories today. And again, I do want to say thank you for all the stories that we heard today, all of you that called in, some of the things that we shared. We shared some audio today. I read a good story. Some of you gave some great stories. A lot of you that listen to this program are vets yourself. Thank you so much for, not only for listening, but for what you've done for our country. I just can't say that enough. Scott mentioned a minute ago about, it's nice to be back in the good old US of A. Well, you know why? Because we have a free country that we live in.
Absolutely.
And we need to make sure we keep it that way. And for all of those men and women that have gone before, that have sacrificed their lives, the families that made those sacrifices, you know what? We wouldn't be here without them. Would we, guys?
No, you're 100% right. And when you look at, all the lives that are affected when someone is taken in battle or war. Yep. I mean, mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandparents, kids
down the road
that never get to meet a dad.
That's exactly right. Future generations are affected by it. Very, very big. So
if you know somebody that has passed away because in battle or whatever, please acknowledge that, because that's what this weekend is for.
That's exactly right.
It's not just for barbecue.
Oh, that's exactly, yeah. When you're barbecuing, remember who made it possible for you to flip that burger in the first place.
A lot of
That's exactly right. It cost somebody a lot. It cost a lot of somebody's, to Scott's point.
That's right.
All right, guys, with that, we got to get out of here. Sportsman of Colorado is next. Dennis Brewster from Extreme, thanks.
Thank you.
Enjoy your
Great
weekend.
show.
Appreciate it very much.
You too.
Larry Younger on the other side of the glass, and Charlie and Terrence both, who engineered for us today. Thank you guys so much. God bless you all. Have a great, fantastic weekend. It'll be a rerun of Rush to Reason, or best of, I should say, on Monday. I will be back on Tuesday. Rush to Reason at 3 o'clock. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you then. KLZ 560.